Welcome, foolish mortals, to another Monday live stream. We have a very special guest today, Dave from Bruja Games and Figures. He is a huge super collector of Kenner and figures and all kinds of stuff. I've pinned his channel to the top. Everybody go over and give him some love. I know we're kind of stretched between Super Geek is doing his Christmas in July thing, so we're kind of splitting an audience at the moment. But anybody's around, please ask any questions. We're going to do kind of the normal thing that I usually do. We talk about what we picked up this week, anything cool, and then we will move on to other stuff. Hey, Kat, how you doing? Thanks for dropping by or opening another window, whichever that works. Make sure you just keep over there on John so you can win a prize pack of some kind.
Well, thanks for inviting me, and having me on your show. I enjoy your channel and everything. And what really drew me was the fact that, you are a vintage collector. And then when I saw your wall, I was like, holy crap, he likes the same stuff I did. And so
yeah, that's what drew me to your channel. I came across it one day and was like, oh my God, it's me somewhere else.
Right.
But I would like to know how long you have been collecting, and what'd you start with?
Well, I started with as a kid collecting baseball and football cards and stuff like that, and then as I did that for many years, and then I got into the movie stuff, like collecting like Blu-rays and DVDs, and I did that for several years. And in between, I did action figures for a little bit, not as much as I am now, but I sprinkle in between card collecting and movies, and which I still collect both to this day. Just at that time, and it was just like one kind of focus on another. You had that little phase, where you go through card collecting and then you move on to something else, but you still have that love for your card collecting and stuff, but you don't get rid of it,
Yeah.
But yeah. Hey, what's going on, Judson? How you doing? Judson is a buddy of mine, and they
by Judson.
Yeah, they call me Mean Dave for various reasons. But we'll save that for another time. But anyways, back to the question is that but yeah, I didn't really start really getting heavy into action figure collecting until 2015, because the last time I actually really collected anything toy wise was probably back in 1999, 2000-ish, I would say. And I made a run to Toys R Us one day, and then I just bought a whole bunch of figures. I still have some of them on my wall, I think. And I think it was like the reissues of some of the Ninja Turtles, like the movie star Turtles, and some of the very first Turtles that they had, and a few Jack specific wrestlers. And like I said, I got them all on the wall somewhere. But excuse me. But after that, kind of split off of that after about a year or two of that, and then I got into real heavy into collecting CDs. Sadly, I don't have any of my music except for maybe 5 or 6 CDs that I have left in my original collection. The rest of them I just sold off like an idiot. I wish I hadn't done that. But I real heavy into hip hop. I love rap, and grew up on that throughout the 90s and early 2000s. Not so much for today's rap. Nothing against it or nothing. It's just not doesn't really appeal to me, should I say.
Yeah.
But back then, I had about 400 CDs, a bunch of hip hop stuff, And like I said, I sold them off or something. I did something with them, like a dummy. But it is what it is. We all have that phase in our life where we sell off something and we just kind of instantly regret it afterwards. But anyway, so in between baseball, sports card collecting, movie collecting, CD collecting, toy collecting. Yeah, I think I pretty much covered all the bases throughout the
Arcade.
past, I want to say 20 years. No, about 30 years, should I say. I'm 41 now. So, and yeah, I've been collecting all my life, as you could say, you know. But excuse me. So, backtracking to what I originally was saying, what really got me back into collecting was when Jurassic World came out in 2015. And I originally, you know how you say you want to get this one particular figure,
Mhm.
and it ends up being the whole thing, the whole wave or series.
Yeah.
But I originally wanted to get the Indominus Rex, and this was when Hasbro had the license, and I still have all my figures from there. I bought just about almost about I have about 90% of the action figures from that Hasbro produced. There's still a few of them that I want, but now I don't know what it is, but they are insanely expensive. But yeah, the original pickups were the Indominus Rex, the big, large electronic one, and then the electronic blue. Those were the only two I really wanted from the film to have in my collection. Wasn't intending to buy anything, but just each time I went to the store, I picked one up, picked one up, picked one up, and then all of a sudden it's just like, oh my gosh. And then yeah, that's where it all started again. So yeah, for the past 5 6 years, yeah, it's just been nonstop, dude. And one of my friends,
You spoke
Daryl,
Blue's name.
my
Hey, Blue, how you doing?
hey, what's going on, Blue? And yeah, I said Blue, but but um, my best friend, my brother, Daryl, who passed away a year and a half ago, he was very instrumental into getting me back into collecting. And what you see behind me was majority of what his responsibility is. And we could touch on that at a later basis, but and but yeah, and to start off with Kenner, I know that we had discussed that we were wanting to talk about Kenner and stuff, but Kenner has been, um, when it comes to toys, has been a very large instrumental part of my life. You know, and I didn't have a whole lot of toys growing up. I had, some of the basics. I think growing up, I had stuff like Dino Riders, definitely dinosaurs. I had the large 13-inch Imperial Godzilla, which I still got. Well, I don't have my original one, but I did pick one up at off of some some site. I can't remember what it was. I think I wouldn't say offer up, but I think some other site. But anyways, yeah, I was able to get one of those back into my collection, and honestly, that Imperial Godzilla is like my grail in my entire collection. If something was to happen, that would be the first thing that I would grab because it was so instrumental in my life. Because growing up being a Godzilla fan, um, it was just something that was so special to me. I always had that toy with me at all times, and that was like
My
when I was about
my
seven
Grail
or eight.
Godzilla would be the Shogun Warrior Godzilla that they made in the 70s. I had one when I was a kid. I love that one. That's beautiful.
Yeah, this is my this is my this is my heart and soul right here, my whole collection. Like I
Yeah.
said, if you asked the question, if your house burned down, what would be the one thing you grab? This would be it. Because as much as I love my Jurassic Park stuff and Kenner stuff, this is the thing that's like,
Oh,
you know,
thanks, 90s guy.
yeah. But uh, but as far as Kenner goes, some of the stuff that I got as a kid, um, was Terminator 2. And I did have, hey, what's going up, 90s guys? 90s guys, those are my boys right there. There, you should check out the channel
I think I'm
if
subbed
anybody
to
that's
him. If
real
I'm not, I
big.
will.
Yeah, because if you're real big on Toy Biz,
Hmm.
that is the channel to check out. Trust me, they got almost, if not the whole collection of Toy Biz Marvel stuff. their collection is insane, and I love
Beautiful.
watching stuff, and follow them on Instagram too as well too. And but but as far as like I was saying, I did get. I don't like I said, I don't have a whole lot of my original stuff. I do have like maybe like a handful, but I think I gave majority of my stuff away for people that needed them, like kids, that needy kids that needed them. So it was actually a good cause when I did it. I kind of have regrets, but I don't have regrets because I'm kind of split in between that.
Hmm.
But at the end of the day, it was for a better cause, because I also had like a lot of stuff like the muscle, and I just recently bought a set of muscles um, from Dallas, and not Dallas Vintage Toys, but Retro Madness, one of my favorite spots to go here in town, in my area, in the North Texas area. And they had a bag for like a few bucks, and I was just so overjoyed because I used to have them. Now, I don't particularly remember which ones I had. The only one that I remember I had is the one with the little hand with the face on it. Uh, that's the only one that sticks out of my mind. So I would love to find one. Um, I would love to find one of those one day and add it to the collection. The ones I got in a lot, I can't tell you if I had them or not as a kid,
Yeah.
because there were so many of them. And also, I also had those army ants that Mattel made. The
Oh yeah.
little, yeah, the little blue and orange army
Uh-huh.
ants. I had those. Um, like I think I already mentioned Dino Riders and definitely dinosaurs. Of course, I had the typical Ninja Turtles, but I never had the original ones. I had the ones that were later produced, like the Astronaut Raph and the Undercover Dawn and the Samurai Leo. Those those four turtles were my original turtles.
Yeah.
you know, and so those are the ones that I had. I also had um oh my gosh, I can't remember. I did have those big bug vehicles, the Buzz Off and the Mosquito vehicles, the big rides. I
Yeah.
had those two. I never had the turtle van or anything like that. None of the original stuff. But I'm actually slowly but surely building up my Playmates collection as far as the turtle stuff goes. Um, and so it's not large or anything. It's small, but it's a start somewhere. So I pick them up when I see them, from time to time. It's not like a priority,
Yeah.
as far as when it comes to my collection goes. But if I see them, because I do want to get the original eight back turtles, and then I want to get the all the side characters, like I'm talking about, like stuff like your Bebops and Rocksteadies, and like Ray Flay and the
Yeah.
frogs and stuff like that. Now, as far as like the wacky action turtles and storage shelf turtles and stuff, those are cool, but it's not a need that I would like to add. I probably will add them at some point,
Yeah. If you
but I
find
just
it for
want,
a decent price, they're
yeah.
always good to pick up.
But if I see like other side characters, um then I'll pick those guys up. I think the recent person I picked up was uh
18.
Napoleon Bonfrog.
Nice. I loved
Yeah,
him.
yeah, I got him.
I
So,
think the
like I
only
said, it's
turtles
not a.
I have left is I kept my Star Trek turtles.
Oh,
I think those might be the
those
only
I
ones
wouldn't
I
mind
have
having.
left.
I'm
But
a I'm a
I used to have quite a
huge.
few, but then like you said, I went through a phase where I sold a whole bunch of stuff that I probably
Yeah,
shouldn't have.
yeah, yeah. And but yeah, that was some of the stuff that I can remember on top of my head that I had growing up. Um, but going back to the Kenner stuff, but yeah, the Terminator line was my favorite line, and that was like pretty much. Oh, and I think one of my, because I got two older sisters. The second oldest, she and I were like Care Bear fans. I know, and and of course, Kenner made Care Bear, excuse me, Care Bear figures,
Hmm.
and they were like one of the first companies to actually make products for them as far as figure forms. And we had some of those, and so I wouldn't mind adding a few of those. I couldn't tell you which ones I had again, but just to have a few of them, I don't have to have the whole collection, but like just a couple of.
That's why my collection looks like the way it does. Is I don't need to have everything, but I do like representations of things.
Exactly.
You
Right.
know,
Exactly. You
so
know,
if
it's
if
just.
I find a decent price Care Bear or something, I'll buy it for the collection. It'll sit
Oh
up
yeah, of
there,
course. Yeah.
you know.
I'll
But
just. I'll include them into the loose collection portion. You know, because you know a lot of.
I need to
Oh,
do that.
yeah. It's so a lot of especially nowadays, a lot of these things have gone skyrocketed in prices. It's just
Yeah,
like holy shit, you
I
know.
think it's because everybody was able to sit home during that which must not be named and watched old shows that they loved as a kid or whatever, and then they got onto eBay or they went on to everywhere or hit up their local comic book stores and were like, I want some turtles, or the NECA turtles are so expensive and can't be found that they're like, well, I'll just go buy normal turtles then.
Right.
Stuff like that. I think that was a big influence on a lot of things recently.
Right. And collecting now is so mainstream like than it's ever been in the last 10, 15, 20 years, you
Mm-hmm.
know. It's like now everybody's into it. You know, if you like say like 10, 15 years ago, you talk to somebody about collecting, they'd look at you all crazy and shit. Now it's just like, oh yeah, I remember that. I
I
have
got a
some of
lot of
those.
those looks.
Yeah. So but yeah, most of my collection is mostly vintage, you know, and I do collect some modern stuff. I don't have a whole lot. I mean, what I mean by I don't have a whole lot is like I do have some things, but it's not like a mass quantities like a Marvel Legends collection or a
Yeah.
Transformers collection. You know, I never had Transformers as a kid. Loved the show. I have the DVD sets, I have shirts and hats and cups and things like that. As far as figures, I don't really have anything. And the ones that I do have, they've all been gifted to me. They were just donated to me, and people would just say, "Hey, I'm about to send you something." I'm like, "All right." Didn't know what it was, and it was Transformers. So in a total, I'll probably have like maybe 5 different Transformers in my collection. That's what represents what I have in my collection. And I'm not going to get rid of them because one they're special to me because they were donated and they're gifts, you know. And one of my favorite ones that I have that I can show right now is this big old Grimlock right here.
Nice.
Yeah. And my best friend Daryl, he's the one that gave this to me, and it was such an honor to have this thing. And never was expecting to have something like this, you know, in the collection. I mean, this thing is incredible. Look how big this thing is.
He was a monster.
Yeah, this is like a centerpiece of my Transformers collection. And I got a couple of those those movie studios
Yeah.
figures. I think one was a birthday gift from a buddy of mine, and then the other one was just a random act of kindness to another friend of mine. And I think the only one that I think I bought is because I'm a big fan of his is that the retro re-release of Soundwave. And I
Oh,
got a yeah, I love Soundwave.
I've had to
I
get
think
all those so far,
so. A
just because
lot of
I have them all in packaging from back in the day, but I'm a sucker for retro packaging.
yeah.
I bought all those Ghostbusters
Mhm.
that they've put out on retro cards.
I got those
I'll
too.
buy just about anything if you throw it on a retro card for me.
Yeah.
Um, but that's my thing is I was always huge into Star Wars. That's where I started.
Right. I mean,
So the
I
vintage cards and Kenner, they sucker me in.
yeah. And as far as that goes, I have a Star Wars collection, but it's not Kenner stuff. I only have like maybe a handful of stuff.
Yeah,
Like the only vintage stuff I got is this Ewok village and a couple of Ewoks. That's it. That's about the only vintage things I have.
yeah,
Would I like to add more? Of course, but man, they so expensive as well.
yeah.
You know, they just like it's
Sometimes you can
hard
find
to.
really good lot deals,
Yeah,
but not as often as you used to.
no, and you have to be quick on it too. You know, because and people just like they snipe that shit real fast.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, I've lost out on a few myself, but I mean, it just wasn't meant for me to have them at the time. You know, and like growing up. I used to watch the Star Wars trilogy backwards because I was first introduced to Return of the Jedi, and then I watched Empire Strikes Back and then New Hope. So that was how I watched it growing up, backwards. And
Yeah.
it wasn't till it was like the re-release in theaters back in the mid '90s, late '90s, when they re-released everything with the new technology. That's when I actually watched it like its original way it was supposed to be watched. And so, of course, Return of the Jedi has always been will be my favorite one because it's my first one to see. Even though it wasn't as good as the original, but it will always be my number one go-to. And I would love to add a vintage Rancor. And that I wouldn't say the whole line because there's like a ton of stuff there, especially play sets and stuff that you hardly ever find or see.
Yeah.
Nowadays. But if I could get like a Rancor and a few figures, then I'd be happy with that, man. But
well, and they did, you can get a there's right there.
Yeah.
There's the newer style. And it's not that much different from the 80s one. And those you can find every so often, especially at loose places. But yeah, the Kenner in the normal 96 or whatever are hard to find. I know some guys who have been working on those sets for a long time.
Yeah.
I'm okay with what I have.
Yeah.
I don't need to finish that. I don't feel a need to finish that line.
Right.
I would love to have some more vehicles and stuff. I have my Ewok village up here.
Awesome.
And I have a couple other things in boxes and stuff, but being an in-box collector it's held me back from having a bigger collection of Star Wars vintage stuff because I always only buy stuff in boxes. And now I see these guys that have those, whatever those stupid IKEA things are called.
Detolfs
or whatever they're.
Detolfs.
Yeah. And they look beautiful and they put lights in them and they've got all their loose collection in there. And I'm like, man, I could do that. But I can only do it with my Transformers because I don't have, I've only got like 30 or 40 vintage Star Wars figures.
Right.
But
that,
keep thinking about it.
I think I've had a couple of people say that I should get a couple of Detolfs, but I don't. That's too fancy for me. I'm okay with bookshelves.
That's what I think too.
Yeah, I'm okay with bookshelves. If
I collected Hot Toys and things like that, then those statues, I'd put those in there.
And
yeah.
And so like I actually finally have my own collection room, as you see right now. Is it used to be like a guest room / collection room. It was more so a guest room than anything. But since I was able to finally get rid of the bed that was inside the room, it opened up a whole new section for me. Yeah. So yeah, it's just now, a lot of people say, well, I don't have the space anymore to add. Well, I have the space. I just don't have the shelvings yet.
Yeah.
So I've got to slowly but surely build up my shelving units in order to put all my stuff on there,
That's what I'm doing. I don't know if they're staying at my house that they're going to end up staying with parts of my collection.
Right.
But once I got a couple friends who are living with me now. Once they leave, I'm going to take those rooms back over. And like you said, I need to get a little bit of different shelving. This is all kind of permanent shelving because I got tired of buying all of the, those types of shelves from Walmart and having them scattered all over the place. So, and then I'm going to do more of those downstairs and get some more stuff out and more of my Trek collection. Because the big things in my collection are Playmates, Kenner, and Toy Biz.
Yeah, and those are actually like some of the most sought off stuff now. And when it comes to Kenner, Judd's always telling me to open bigs.
No, I've seen Toy Story. I know what they do when I'm not paying attention.
Right.
If they're trapped in their boxes, they can't get me.
Yeah. I don't forget Small Soldiers too, as well.
Exactly. I don't have
one-man
representation of Small Soldiers in my collection. I don't know why I never bought any of them.
Right.
I have the card set, the trading card set that Skybox did, but I don't know why that slipped. I worked at KB for 11 years, so I had access to small soldiers when it went clearance, and I don't know why I never picked them up. They're cool looking figures, and it was a good
Oh
movie.
yeah, I have a whole shelf full of them right here.
Yeah, it might be one of those things I thought I bought them and I didn't, and then they were gone, and which happened to me a lot in my collection. I thought I'd bought stuff and then it wasn't there anymore. So
also check out One Man Toy Show's channel, Brad.
yeah,
He's got some amazing content. It's
yeah,
way
he's
he
pretty
edits,
great.
when he does his edits and stuff. And of course, that's what he does for a living. He's an editor. He does edits for videos for companies and stuff. And
I wish I
you'll
was
be
better
impressed.
at it.
So, but what was I saying? But yeah, I love Small Soldiers. That was my as a teenager, because that came out what, 97, 98. Yeah, I went to see
Yeah,
that at least 2 or 3 times in a theater at that time. And man, that thing was amazing. May not have been very suitable for kids, even though it was supposed to have been targeted for kids. But if you watch it now, you just be like, oh my gosh, it's
yeah,
supposed to be a kids movie, really?
yeah. It still holds up, and
Oh
anything
yeah.
Stan Winston does is always going to stand up. But yeah, I was happy with those. I got most. I think I got everybody's autographs out of that set. I was
Really?
happy for.
Sweet.
I'm kind of like you, except instead of doing baseball and football, I did non-sports cards for a
Oh
long
man.
time.
The 80s and 90s was the best time to collect sports cards.
Yeah.
I just my opinion. I don't, because I was in tune to all of it back then. Not so much now, because a lot has changed when it comes to the sports world and stuff, and it's not very appealing to me as much. But
Well,
I
to
still
me,
watch it
it's
from
it's
time to
one of those
time.
things where there's too many sets to buy,
Yeah.
first of all, and I'll buy a set of cards, and then, well, that guy's gone, and halfway through the season he's traded. What's the
Yeah.
point of that?
Yeah. And um, I do have I'm looking at it right now. It's in the corner, but I do have all my cards stashed up there. So I was thinking about maybe on a video one day, I'll just get a binder. I'll just flip through it and talk about certain players that I watched back then, and things like that. So that might be a future video or two here.
Yeah.
And but yeah, man, sports cards collecting back in the 90s was like the best time, to do that. I mean, you had so many amazing players back then. It's just
And when I was a kid, I was big into I'd buy tops and stuff like that. And then once the '90s came around, I started buying Pro Set when they came out with sets and things like that, and then Upper Deck with some things. And then I just kind of got. I think the sets were too big. There's
yeah,
400 guys in a set, and it's nuts. But I have almost been tricked back into them several times because I'm really good friends with the guy who owns a comic book shop. He's like, "Oh, I can get you back into these '90s cards, pretty good." I'm like, "No, I don't want to start yet another new collection."
right. Because Topps was like the leading card company for many years, like with
Yeah,
the 70s and 80s, maybe including the 60s. And then like you mentioned, you had Upper Deck, and then you had Fleer and Fleer Ultra.
hmm
Those were the top notch collectors cards at the time, because Topps and Upper Deck, they were just like your basic cards. You could buy at the store anywhere. But when you got into like Donruss and even Donruss, they were pretty good too, as well as in the 80s and 90s, and then especially in the 90s. And then you had to go to like hobby shops to get like Fleer and Fleer Ultra and stuff. And that's when they dabbled into the sports cards. That's when they dabbled into the Marvel, the
yeah.
Marvel masterpieces and stuff. And I still have
Have you seen the price on those things?
oh shit, like that's changed like in the last couple of years, because I've actually bought a couple of sets, And then I went back and looked, and man, they like tripled in prices and stuff. Like,
there's some of those cards that are like $200 for a card because it's Thor's rookie card. He's a comic book character. He's not.
Yeah.
It's what? I'm crazy about the prices on some of those sets, and I've got all those Marvel sets from back in the day, from Skybox and Fleer and Upper Deck and all that stuff. And it's just crazy to me that some of those cards are like worth real money. Like they're worth more than my John Elway rookie card and stuff like that. It's like, why?
Who knows?
Hey, KBG, how you doing?
Hey, what's going on, Aaron?
Aaron, the master builder. I think he's somehow tricked most of YouTube into starting to build Gundams. Because now I see that popping up. Everybody started doing them, copying him.
I'll be honest, I'm not too familiar with Gundam, so I don't think that would work for me.
It won't work for me. I have
I know what Gundam is, but I haven't watched or actually know a whole lot about it, you know. But it's cool to see, you know, guys like him and other people, you know, talk about it, because it seems like they're really that kit building process. I think a lot of people get a lot of enjoyment from it, from what I've seen.
I watch those guys. You know, we have a little group, and Sleeping and Ewok and a couple of the others guys all get together and they build, and it seems very calming. Of course, until Sleeping drops a piece or two, then it's not so calming. But I don't think I could do that. I've watched them, and they'll spend a half hour putting a head together. It's like, no, I'll play with Lego. That's my speed.
Yeah, Sleeping. Transformers can be an expensive hobby. That's why I'm not into it, because a lot of people ask me, like, how come you don't have certain things in your collection? Well, because if that was the case, I would have to get rid of everything that I got and just focus on that one particular franchise, because there's so much stuff. Like, you could like build an entire room full of nothing but Transformers. That's how much stuff they had from the 80s and on, and it never ends.
Yeah,
the same thing with Marvel Legends. I would have to give up something in order to gain something.
Yeah, it's and they pump stuff out so quickly, you know. But yeah, Judson's right. The bubble is definitely going to burst on these Marvel cards at some point. You know, and I love that non-sports cards are actually being bought all of a sudden. I just wish people like Upper Deck wouldn't take advantage of it, and the new metal cards that are out there's like 200 in a set, so you even if you bought a case of them, you can't complete the base set of the cards. And you know, that annoys me greatly, because I'm used to, you know, hell, Topps overproduced stuff, but you could buy a box of cards and get a set out of them. That's what I love about Rittenhouse Archives. At least you'll get a base set of cards out of your box. You won't get all the inserts and stuff. But what's up, Dave? But yeah, that new Rodimus, I was like, he's part of my 86 collection I have to get, and I've decided to buy one of them a week. And like the Cyclonus is 29, but the Galvatron was 49, and then this Rodimus is 79, and it's like,
yeah. I had originally planned on getting into the 86 movie studios line, because I love that movie so much, and I thought that was the perfect way to incorporate G1s within the modern take on it. And it never happened. Once I started looking at the prices and stuff, I'm like, I can't do it.
Well, what's nice is in that there's only 6 of them at the moment that are in that packaging. But the problem is that the new stuff, the Fallen Kingdom or whatever the new packaging is, it's kind of like yellow.
Yeah.
Half those figures fit inside the 86 series. Yeah. So I will have to purchase them because they'll look perfect together.
Yeah.
Not that I open stuff. I really should open things, especially Transformers. But yeah, so those get me.
Yeah. But yeah,
you're right. But they do look pretty when you put statues and stuff in them, or helmets. Paul's Collectibles, he does helmets, and he's got a whole wall of those and the helmets are beautiful and they're lit, so nice.
I mean, like, if you got like a whole NECA collection and stuff, that would go good with detox and stuff. I don't have a whole lot of NECA. The only NECA that I have See, this is the rule that I go by, and I tell people this all the time. And because they think that because I don't buy certain modern stuff that I'm guess you could say hating on it.
Mhm.
It's not that I'm hating on it or anything like that. I love some of the new stuff. Some of the new stuff is amazing quality and good things that
What?
that could go well. And what
Oh
do you
my
say?
God.
Oh yeah, that's
That is dirt cheap.
that is
Jeez.
dirt. That's why it's called dirt cheap.
I'm gonna have to go over there. I don't even I used to buy a lot of Funko and CDs and music from them, but I
Right.
haven't been over there in a while. I need to go over to Dirt Cheap tomorrow and look for Transformers.
But what I was saying was that it's not the fact that I don't want the new stuff. It's the fact that I'd rather have the original stuff and if they had a character that they didn't make back then,
Mhm.
that's a new version that's coming out now, then I'm open to pick it up. Like my Marvel Legends collection, it's really small. It's not a whole lot, but it's made up of mostly Toy Biz. And like the newest one that I had picked up was last year, and that was the Red Hulk. Well, Toy Biz never made a Red Hulk.
Mhm.
So it only makes sense for me to buy a Red Hulk when I can get the Toy Biz Gray Hulk and Green Hulk, and they're just fine. They might always not always be in scale, but I'm satisfied with that.
Yeah.
And they're not that expensive as well. Some of
Well, and
them
the
are.
quality is so close.
Yeah.
Those Toy Biz Legends were incredible figures for their time. That was the first time we'd ever really had that kind of incredible detail on a figure, that many points of articulation, and they created the build a figure. And that's
Right.
all the last couple years of Toy Biz. And then when Hasbro took over, they still all look about the same. You can tell that the sculpting's a little different and things like that, but you could put your Marvel figures with your Toy
Toy
Biz
Biz.
Legends.
Yeah,
They fit right in. I
exactly.
love that.
So, and the same thing with some of the NECA stuff, like when they make the movie Turtles, like the original movie Turtle line. We didn't
Mhm.
get figures back then, so that's why I'm like all in on that. I'm missing a couple of them, but other than that, I've got thanks to Brad, One Man Toy Show. He's the one that was able to find them because I here in North Texas, where I'm at least in my area where I've looked, I've only seen them maybe one or two out in the wild, and I just happened to pick up the latest Super Shredder figure, the dark purple one.
Mhm.
'Cause I got the original one thanks to Brad, and he was able to get me a set of the Turtles and Raph and Casey Jones set, in his area, and I've only seen like maybe one set or two out in the
I
wild.
can't
And
believe that I live in a metropolitan area with almost 2 million people in it, and I can't find any of those turtles ever.
wow,
There honestly can't be that many people looking for those turtles. And really,
right,
out of the movie pack, I've seen the Shredder and the Splinter, and then I've seen the 2 pack of the Foot Soldiers and the Super Shredder, the big one.
yeah,
Those are all I've ever seen. I never have seen the turtles in that pack, and I don't know if I would have bought them or not. I love the packaging on them, but
yeah.
um, that half of my battle is not buying things because I love packaging so much. So with being an inbox collector, I'm not going to throw that stuff away.
Right.
So that's another thing Kenner did so well is their packaging is so good. You know,
They, it's they, in my opinion, and I'm pretty sure you could probably agree to this. Kenner made the best packaging out of all the stuff in the '90s.
yeah.
Everything. That includes Mattel's, that includes Hasbro's, that includes Toy Biz, everything. But there was something about Kenner's packaging that just drew you to their product.
Hmm.
And it was just top notch, bar none. I mean, look at the Jurassic Park stuff. Look at the Congo stuff. I mean, just look at anything that they put out. Let me hold on. Just give me 1 second. Let me grab a box real quick that I haven't opened. Let me.
So that's pretty cool, Geek. Geek, I need to watch your videos. I saw that there's a couple of new ones up. Of course, you can see I need to work on that being geek strong myself. So I'm gonna definitely watch some of your stuff this week.
And everything came tumbling down when I grabbed this. It happens. But look
Yeah,
at that.
look at that thing.
Look
Isn't
at
that
that.
beautiful?
Hmm. That's what I call art. So sorry about the glare, but yeah, I mean, just that artwork is bar none. I mean, you can duplicate. You can copy it, duplicate it, but it will never be original like Kenner.
Yeah.
You know.
And that's what I liked about the NECA stuff, where they try and recreate some of the Kenner packaging. They do a pretty good job of it, but they wouldn't have thought about doing it that way.
Right.
And, you know, and that's just, it might come from them dealing with Star Wars so much that they understood how to sell things. And I didn't realize until I really started looking that I've basically been a Kenner kid all my life. Because when I was a kid, I got the Bionic Man and Bionic Woman toys, and those were all Kenner. And
those,
that
and the with $1 million man, the $1 million man,
yeah,
$6 million man.
$6 million
Those
man
were like some of the top sellers that Kenner originally had.
Yeah,
at the time. That,
and then of course when Star Wars hit, that was it.
And but I never like
over your shoulder. I mean, even stuff like that's considered, you know, trash. I love the Dragonheart packaging. The figures are okay, but the packaging's great. I love the water world. That stuff's great, and I am envious of your dragons. I don't have any of the dragons.
Oh, I got more than that. I mean, I got the other two down at the bottom.
Yeah, I had them, and then I gave them away to a cousin for Christmas, thinking I was going to rebuy them, and I never did. And now they're, of course, incredibly expensive.
Oh yeah,
but that alien packaging, and you know, they stood out so much. And it's, you know, and not that Mattel didn't try. I just think Mattel's is just more generic.
Yeah.
Because they didn't want to put so much work into the front. Now their backs, they put a lot of work into the backs, especially on He-Man and stuff like that. But you know, it's Kenner who puts the work in.
Yep.
You know.
And like with He-Man, their packaging was sorry, Brad, I know you're a He-Man fan, but their packaging was a little bland in the front. It was just like, ugh.
Well, they put their money into those little comic books that came inside it and gave you a story, so that was pretty cool. I have the only McFarlane figures I have a Harley and I have a Batman from the animated series, because I'm a big Batman animated series fan and I love the Kenner Batman animated series, and so I generally do buy animated series stuff. What I'm looking forward to is the Batman 66 stuff that's coming from McFarlane.
Yeah.
Apart from that, there's too many Batman.
I was all in on McFarlane's DC. I was so excited, pumped up that they got the license, because I knew, knowing McFarlane, what he's done in the 90s, that would carry over to today's toys. And after buying a few and then trying to complete a bath and everything, it just got too overwhelming. I just gave up. You know, I love McFarlane and stuff, but I just can't. I was all in, but I'm not all in anymore. I mean, I still keep the stuff that I.
Honestly, I was never a big DC fan. I've always been a Marvel fan, and so I don't have any connection to any of those figures. Half the time, I'm like, "What?" Like my buddy, I'm like, "What's this from?" And he'll tell me the whole backstory of the comic, and I'm like, "That's actually interesting. I might want to read the comic, but I don't need a figure from it yet."
Yeah.
Where with Marvel, you can throw out whatever,
yeah,
and I'll be like, "Oh wow, that AIM scientist is cool. I need him to go with my Red Skull if I pick up a Red Skull."
Right. And
yeah, Judson's right. It's the Batverse. and it's and when they do expand beyond Bat, it's only the Fab Five. It's only Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and Green Lantern. There are quite a few Robins, but you know, it's thanks for dropping by, guys.
Thanks, 90s Toys. Appreciate you stopping by.
But yeah, I think Judson's right. It's that there are too many Batmen. But like I said, I've never been a big DC fan except for when Kenner did the Superpowers figures.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't have any of those. I would like to add them eventually one day. You know, if I find them for a reasonable price. But those are pretty expensive. as well, you know. And as far as DC goes in my collection, I have all the well, except for one. I'm still looking for one, but I have all the Funko DC Primal Age.
Oh yeah.
I got all those, and so I just need a Flash now. I still have yet to pick up a Flash, but
That was a weird decision of theirs. You
yeah,
know, they
but
lost the Masters of the Universe license because of that.
I don't know. But
Yeah, Mattel basically told them not to make those figures, to not make
really,
those, and not to make the Thundercats that looked like that. And they said that's our kind of design. We don't want you doing that. And Funko said, "Well, we're Funko, and we rule the world at the moment." And then they ended up that was a kind of a failure line, and they went crawling back to Mattel, and Mattel was like, "Okay, you can make Funko Pops of our characters again." But yeah, it's funny that line was so weird and then just died.
yeah, because that was like their Savage World line, and I think that was supposed to take off, be the next big thing, you know. Because what was it? I pretty much got majority of them. The only ones I don't have is I don't have the complete set of the Street Fighters. I do have the Chase figures, but I don't have the other Street Fighters. I don't have the Thundercats, and I think I might have some of the Mortal Kombat 10 figures, some. But I do have the DC Primal Age and the Batcave and all the animal rides and stuff like that. So that right there is kind of like my DC representation. You know, if I don't buy anything else DC, I'm fine with that because I got all the characters that I want in that representation form, and I'm perfectly fine with that. One, because simple fact that of the style of the figures, and two, you know, it's like you get like a 2-in-1 combo, so it works out perfectly for me for what I collect. You know, 5.5, you know, 5 POA stuff.
Yeah.
You know, so it's fine with me. So if I don't buy another McFarlane figure ever again, I'm okay with that because I got my DC Primal Age figures to represent my DC collection. You know,
And that's what I do with Batman 89 and Batman 66. And so if he ever makes a 66 wave or an 89 wave that has like a Keaton Batman and a Nicholson Joker and stuff, I'll buy him instantly.
Yeah.
But just like the 66 stuff, it's all in different packaging, so it's not like the normal McFarlane packaging, which is cool. But he loves 66 Batman, so he'll probably make more stuff, which is fine with me. Have you seen Kinner by Chris on Etsy?
No, I haven't.
Okay, he makes he's a guy in England, and he does kind of like what if cards. I'll have to show you these and see what you think.
Wait, I think I might have seen something. That was you that posted it.
Yeah, I've been posting some of them.
Yeah.
And they did I got another wave coming. Where'd that one go? But he did Batman 66 stuff as if Kenner had made them. And I love these cards. There's great artwork on them. But I'm a sucker for any of the 3.75 stuff. And you can throw anything on that and I'll buy it. That's why I'm such a big fan of reaction figures that Super 7 makes. The figures aren't necessarily the best in the world. But I don't take them off card anyway, so it doesn't matter to me. It's the card art and stuff that I want. But there's been Strongman Tornado and Coco Man. Hey, Sandra, how you doing?
What's going on?
Yeah, the let's see if I can. So this is he's on Etsy, and so he does kind of what if Kenner cards. So he's done expansions on the Raiders of the Lost Ark series that Kenner made forever ago, and then some people, he's been doing this off and on. They're taking the figures Kenner or Hasbro, I guess, made a few years ago for Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and he's putting them on. But he does all kinds of stuff. you know, Batman 688 or 89, Buck Rogers, lots of new indies. The Raiders is what he's been working on recently. But I love these card backs. Anything Kenner related, and he's done some Star Wars ones for characters that never had vintage cards. So, well, we got this character, he was never on this card, and so the vintage collection cards are pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
But I've really been, unfortunately, really buying quite a few of these. I really love them so much. And then he's done some more modern stuff, like what a card would look like for the Mandalorian and things like that. And I shouldn't buy as much as I do but they're slightly expensive. But I mean, I'd have loved to have had this when I was a kid. Yeah. We had to wait until the 90s to get a Grand Moff Tarkin figure.
That sucks.
Yeah. But yeah, so I like his stuff. He does a lot of good work, but you know, that's the kind of love that Kenner people put into stuff.
Oh yeah.
I've seen somebody do the Future War packs behind you. Yep. I've seen somebody who's created new backs for a third wave of figures that was never out, and then I've seen them make them for the 3D ones as well, and so that they all look on the same card back. It's amazing the work that people will do to complete collections or to make things, you know. I loved Mighty Heroes. It was a great show. It was odd, but it was kind of up there with the Mighty Orb Bots. Used to be on around the same time where I lived.
Yeah, I have the entire carded Terminator 2 collection behind me. All the originals, and then the Future Wars, and then the was it the 3D, the Terminator 3D line that was supposed to advertise the 3D ride in Orlando, Florida, I think, for Universal Studios or something. Some ride.
I think I ended up with like 2 of those, but I never did complete that 3D line. And then I went looking for them after I saw them behind you, and I'm like, well, that'll be not collected. Those are too expensive.
Yeah.
One man, I have thought about doing that, taking those Batman, or the other ones is there's Flash Gordon, and Biff Bang Pow did 3 3/4 inch Flash Gordon figures.
I saw those.
So I could take those off, or of course Super 7 themselves have done, and Reaction did Back to the Futures, so I could take those off and put them on. Galoob did Star Trek 3 figures, but they're the same outfit, so I could get on Star Trek 2. I could put them on my Trons. And same company there's figures for Buck Rogers. The one I'm sad about that I couldn't possibly do is for Battlestar, because the figures are too large. They don't fit on cards right for a couple of them. But I have thought about that.
That'd be a cool project. Hell yeah.
Yeah, just to complete the what if type thing of it.
Yeah. But yeah, speaking of the Terminator 2 line, the only thing I need now to complete it is the bio regenerator play set. That's the only one that's always eluded me. I've never been able to get.
And that would be because half the time the packets of that crap inside it were broke, and so we'd throw a lot of them away. When I worked at Toys R Us, almost half a case of those would be thrown away every time they'd be returned. Because the thing had broke inside them and it had gotten icky.
I can imagine trying to use that shit now.
Yeah, Judson, it was on every afternoon on Channel 31 here, and it's been in syndication forever.
I remember watching reruns.
Yeah, it's just a crazy show. It's not real Batman, because real Batman to me is 89 Batman and on is more real Batman, but it's just a fun show that you can watch, and it was such a phenomenon of its time that it would be cool. and it's just kind of in the collecting world, that was a big thing, along with the Beatles at the same time. So you had the Beatles, and you had Star Trek, and you had Planet of the Apes, and you had Batman, all at that same time, like putting all kinds of weird toys and stuff out. And the only one who really survived that was Planet of the Apes, that really Mego pushed hard and got some of that out until until Star Wars came along. Then everybody wanted to cash in.
Right.
Yeah, he's gonna do the rest of the figures. And what I like is where'd that Tron one go? On the back, it shows all of the because those were done by who did do those? NECA did them when they did reissues. NECA did them, but I think they were Galoob as well. But he put all the cycles on, and you got a cut out little ID disc you can get. Shows the other 4 figures that were in that wave. And then if in the old days in Star Wars, you could clip the proof of purchase here, and once you got enough proof of purchases, you could send in for a figure or something like that. And he puts a lot of work into the back of these. And I've asked him about doing some other 80s type of things that would fit, like the A-Team or Knight Rider or Magnum PI, because they all had figures, 3 3/4 inch figures that you could put on those cards. And he says he would love to, but doing the artwork and stuff for the back is so time consuming. Unless he knew he could sell quite a few of them,
I'll bet. Now, Knight Rider would be a line that I would love, a Kenner line that I would love to have in my collection.
Yeah,
that's pretty pricey these days. So even if it was just a 6-inch or a 3 3/4 Michael Knight figure, I would be happy with either or. Just to have one, let alone the car.
Yeah, and I'm surprised that it's interesting in the things that Super 7 makes and doesn't make. It depended on, they were working with Funko, so they could only go with the licenses Funko had. Then when they kind of broke away, that's why their figures cost so much, is because they have to put the burden of all the stuff on them now. Which is why they're $17 when really they should be $12. But
let alone $9.99.
It'd be they just showed Iron Giant, really cool 3 3/4 inch Iron Giant figures, and Xena. They're doing a couple new Xena figures and a couple new Hercules figures, which of course those were Toy Biz back in the day, and those were great figures for Toy Biz. Some of those Xena ones are really nice.
Yeah, my wife has a few of those toys.
Next generation ones should be here tomorrow. And those Munsters, they just did Munsters.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So they did Munsters, and what else was in this? Oh, Jim and the Holograms. So they make interesting choices. Yeah. Personally, I would have done the A-Team or something like that, but I don't know if that's just not available to them, or they're not looking for it. I know that they've been fighting for a couple years to try and get rights to make Last Starfighter figures, to actually release
I would pick those waves.
Up. Yeah, and I'd be all over them. But they just did Ren and Stimpy, and of course Iron Maiden and all that stuff is their kind of bread and butter.
Speaking of card backs, you mind if I open this
no
purchase I got?
No, go ahead. Open it up.
It's Kenner related, so
cool.
I think when I saw these, I had to pick them up. I got a lot, and it was like $10, free shipping or whatever. And I have this, I wouldn't say the entire collection, but I do have all the figures, all the single carded figures. And when I bought these figures, I want to say about 95% of them were complete. So I had to go on eBay to get the rest of the accessories that I needed for them. But at that time, accessories weren't that expensive. I mean, this was like about 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And
that's bad. Well, he had to be in his 90s sleeping. Richard Donner passed. That's too bad.
Yeah, he was an old
Yeah, he had to be
Old
old.
fella.
Judson, what did you think of Gotham? Because I love the 66 series, and I think Gotham is almost a sequel to it because it's just as nuts. If you ever watched, Dave, if you ever watched Gotham, Gotham
Yeah,
was
I've
a
seen it.
weird show. And
Yeah,
it never
so
takes
good.
itself seriously, but it does take itself seriously randomly.
Yeah,
And
periodically, yes.
yeah,
All right. So if you want to make me large, you can see these
sure.
better. So I purchased, like I said, I purchased these on eBay for like $10, and I've got several card backs for
Oh,
the RoboCop
nice.
Ultra Police, and I knew I had to have them because I do have all of these figures itself. They're all 100% complete, including all the caps, the original caps.
Oh, cool.
So, and then this is just like the icing of the cake, just to be able to have these card backs to go with them,
Yeah.
and they're all displayed and everything. So I even got the Ed 260. So the first one that we have is that Dr. McNamara right here,
Cool.
and it's got that old Toys R Us sticker right there. And I think at the time it was $4.49 at Toys R Us. So there's the back of it right there.
Nice.
And then I've got Sergeant Reed.
Cool.
And I have Ann Lewis.
Cool. Whose tags are those? Are those Gibsons? Does it say?
The Farm.
The Farm. Oh, I don't know that one. That's a different store.
Yeah, you can see that.
Oh, okay.
Farm. And I have Wheels Wilson.
Nice.
And and the thing about these card backs, Kenner has the same style for every single line that they produce for these.
And that's why we loved them so much at Toys R Us and at KB, because they didn't. You can look at your wall, and every one of those is about exactly the same size, and it was easy to block stuff.
And we got Chainsaw. And then we got Headhunter.
Cool.
Nitro.
Wow, you got quite a few.
Oh yeah. And this was this was $10 for the whole set.
Wow.
I wouldn't say the whole set, but majority of them. Here's another chainsaw. So, and I think I do have an extra chainsaw that can go with it. And then here is from Series 2. We got Scorcher.
Cool. The Vandals.
Got Birdman Barnes.
I need to go back and watch this cartoon again. I haven't seen the cartoon in years.
And then we got the man himself, RoboCop.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my card backs that I picked up from my vintage RoboCop collection.
Cool.
So yeah, I just love these things. It's just like growing up, even though I didn't have a whole lot of Kenner products, but I did have a lot of friends that did have a lot of it. Like I had a friend that had nothing but Star Wars, and I played with all of his Star Wars stuff. I had another friend that had all the Kenner Alien and Predator collection, so I got to play with those. So even though I didn't have some of that stuff on my own, I would still be able to live through it with friends that actually had those collections. So,
well, speaking of Richard Donner, a couple things I picked up yesterday. Data with a little punching glove from the Goonies, and Mikey with the map.
Yeah, I think I saw that one at the store that recently.
I'm only missing there's a sloth and a chunk I got to get, but then I'll have that whole set complete again. But Donner's Superman. Oh, love that.
Yeah, the seller included this into the package too. I forgot all about it.
Well, and see, we haven't even talked about starting lineup. I mean, that was revolutionary for the time. Nobody had done sports figures like that in ages.
Yeah.
And they
And
were the thing.
the first one that I ever bought, I still have in my collection, is Seattle Seahawks running back Chris Warren.
Nice.
And that was like the first one I could afford at the time. And it was at the mall, at my local mall. And he's over there with my one vehicle I got for the mask. But but yeah, I bought him, and I just never bought any more after that. I don't know why. I don't know what happened. But
I bought all the Denver stuff. So I bought the Broncos and the Nuggets and the Rockies and the Avalanche. And then I branched out a little bit. I got like a Joe Montana and a, you know, Terry Bradshaw, players that mean something to me when I was growing up.
of course.
I love that. And see, not a lot of people kept any of those catalogs as well, too. Those catalogs that, you know, would come in Star Wars stuff or in Transformers or G.I. Joe, they were great.
He's the vehicles for
that's nice.
Like I know that let's see, this helicopter, a lot of people don't know that Terminator 2 had this copter in their line as well.
Really?
Yeah, it's I can't pronounce the name. It's like JOCOA, I think.
Huh.
I think that's what it's called. But yeah, if you look it up, just Google like Kenner Terminator 2 figures or something, and it should pop up. I come across it on eBay every now and then, and I think the seller that has these are in Argentina.
Yeah.
So
it might have been an overseas thing only. Kenner used to do that quite a lot. When a line was coming toward its end, all that stuff would be shipped overseas.
Mm-hmm. And I know you know these.
Oh yeah.
The
Rat pink.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then of course, you know, we got the Dark Knight collection. I have a few of these loose, so I don't have too many of them because that's a line that's super expensive as well.
Yeah. I have a whole bunch of the Batman Returns and some of the Batman stuff, but I still have my 89 Bob the Goon and Joker and Batman from Toy Biz before Kenner took the line over. There you go. There's some good stuff. Those were things I should never have sold.
Yeah, this line actually has its ups and downs when it comes to purchasing them. You know, some of them could be real expensive, some of them could be pretty reasonable. This is a line that
I got rid of a whole bunch of my real Ghostbusters and that at the same time. Nice Shadow Strikers.
Yeah. Never had any of these as a kid, though. Knew about them, but
yeah.
Then here we go.
Yep, there they are.
Yep.
The scare ones are the ones I sold, unfortunately.
I think that's about it for that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but that was enough. Having that which must not be named, killing toy fairs, and so now we don't get to see what's coming. You know, Toy Fair was always so much fun to see what could be coming this year. And, you know, of course, all we do is bug Hasbro and everybody. Where's this figure? Where's that figure?
Right.
Funko would show 300 new figures at a Toy Fair, and you kind of can figure out what was coming. And now we don't get that anymore. I also miss, of course, the Sears catalogs. What are you going to do with those card backs?
I don't know yet. I have yet to. Well, actually, I do know what I do with them. To be honest with you, they're right behind me. I do put them in a drawer. It's because I still got my big long dresser back here that came with the bedroom set that I originally had in here. So it actually has a little compartment, one of those where you could like easily store some things in there.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all my card backs. So everything that I open, I save all the card backs, mainly because I love stuff that comes with those file cards.
Oh,
So it not only just because of the artwork, but for the file cards. So like I have a whole stack of stuff for like Star Wars, or not Star Wars, Star Trek, for the file cards and
Mhm.
like anything Playmates that I have on card that I opened. I keep all that stuff. I keep all my cards. Even all the retro stuff. As ugly as and I do I don't collect the He-Man Origins, but I do collect the Masters of the WWF universe,
I've got a couple of those.
and this is the line. This is the latest line that came out recently, and even though this is just plain bland to me, but that's why I keep it because of this artwork right
Exactly.
here. So,
Yeah,
but
and
if it wasn't for
the new
that,
He-Man things are the same way. I don't, and I never was a big fan of the original cards, but the backs were always, they put so much artwork in them. Oh, I haven't seen that one yet. Cool.
yeah, this is Ultimate Word is based off of his WCW gimmick when he was in WCW for that short time.
That's cool.
And
Who else
then
was in that wave?
then you got
I've
Goldberg
seen
as Ram
Goldberg
Man.
recently.
Yeah. So and then you have
And
Stephanie
Steph, I've seen
McMahon
her.
as Evil Lynn,
Yeah.
the evil queen. What is it? The evil billion dollar skull queen. Go a lot right along with my Triple H. So I have yet to open these. I do need to open these and do a review on these on the channel. So if you're interested, you may check that out once it's posted.
When those first came out, I was like, what in the hell are these? And why am I not getting real He-Man figures? Kind of
Right.
like I really missed the ball on, did you pick up any of the Ghostbuster crossover ones?
No, I didn't. I wish I did, but
Yeah, me too.
I
That's cool.
yeah, this came with the skull. This is the Rattlesnake Mountain play set that came with the ring.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
Stone Cold and Hulk Hogan came with this set. That set. So I had to have that one. I paid like $70 for it,
Yeah.
which is a little steep, but I'm so glad I did because if I didn't do it then I would have missed out on it, and I wasn't about to pay like double the price for it. So I
That's how
officially now.
so those Ghostbusters ones were, they were like $16 a piece. And I was like, I'm not paying that for that. And now I wish I would have, because I would have bought it just because I collect Undertaker stuff every so often.
Yeah.
When the mood hits me, I'll buy a new Undertaker figure. And I really wish I would have gotten that Ghostbusters Undertaker. Captain Mule would like some more Starcom. So would I. That was a cool little set of stuff. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
The Scareglow Taker with his Triclops outfit.
Nice.
Yeah, a buddy of mine picked this up for me because he knew I was looking for it. So but yeah, I got the entire line of that stuff. So I'm just waiting for wave 8, I think 7 or 8.
Yeah.
And that one comes with Andre the Giant, and he's going to be an actual giant. So he is like he is he's the Titus of the group, of the bunch, because I think wait in the vintage line they either made one or they had a prototype of Titus, I think, the big giant, and Andre is going to pay some homage to that. And then we got Junkyard Dog. Yeah.
Now you're talking.
There's going to be, that wave is going to be Junkyard Dog, and he has the Spike Tour gimmick. And then, all right, Judd, check you later. Thank you for stopping by.
Yeah, thank you for coming over.
And then we have Sergeant Slaughter is going to be the man at arms of the group. And then we'll have Andre the Giant.
This is how they suck me back in, is by doing WWF guys.
Yeah, that was the thing, because I did watch something, and they at first, the first few waves was like half of like the new people, and then half is going to be like legends.
Mm-hmm.
But what they came to realize is that all the legends would sell out, and all the new guys would pegwarm. Yep. And so they figured, well, shit, if we're going to continue this line, we got to start going with the legends. Sure enough, that's what they did, and that's why they're pretty much hard to come by these days, is because everybody wants the legends in that format, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense, you know. Nothing
I'm
against the
so
newbies,
disappointed
but
that I didn't buy that Mr. T when I saw it, but the card was so bashed up that I was like, I'm surely I'll find this again.
you got,
I do have Hot Rod.
yeah.
I have a Hot Rod and I don't see him. My other ones aren't on my wall. Oh, and Macho Man. I did pick up Macho Man and Jake.
Yeah, this guy was the hardest guy for me to find. I was able to find my buddy, Tattoo Toy Hunter. He got a Mr. T for me because he said if I find two of them, I'm gonna pick one up for me and I'll pick one up for you. And he stayed true to his word and he shipped it out to me. And the only one I needed for that wave at the time was this guy. So I could never find him, never. And I've even asked. I don't usually ask people for help because normally I find it on my own. I usually say, hey, keep an eye out for me. If you find them, let me know, because I was going to I would either PayPal it or trade for something, because I'm not one of those guys that seeks for help to find things, because normally 9 times out of 10 I usually find it, so it's not really that big of a deal for me. But I could never find this guy. So one day I was on Facebook and a buddy of mine tagged me on a post of a vintage shop that was like in my area, and it had this picture of him in it. I don't know if this is the exact same figure of it, but it was like there was 2 of them when I went.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, dude, I got to go over there and get me this Jake, because if I don't, I'll never have him in my collection. And I wasn't about to. I mean, $30 on the secondary market's okay. It's just like, but I was able to find this guy, and I paid a total at a vintage shop, at an antique store. Somebody had a booth, and he was at the antique store, and I paid like $10 over resale, you know, and for $27, I was able to get me a Jake the Snake to complete that series.
Yeah.
So which isn't too bad. I mean, $27, people will be like, "Oh, you paid too much." Well, no, not really. It's just like $10 over. But I would rather pay 27 than 35, 40. You know.
Yeah.
So if we weren't able to locate them in the area, so I was happy, you know. So I finally was able to get this guy into the collection.
Apparently, they're doing some Cyber Frog figures. Those actually look pretty good.
Oh.
Nice Waspinator up there.
I don't collect a whole lot of modern stuff, and
Yeah.
I think I'm going back to what I was trying to say earlier. The only modern stuff I really collect as far as now is like the Jurassic World stuff. You know, I'm a big Jurassic Park, Jurassic World fan.
Yeah.
And the latest thing is I also collect their Legacy collection line. And if I can reach over here and grab it. Grimlock was in our way.
Is me always.
Yeah. So here is the Legacy collection for the Dennis Nedry Jeep set.
Yeah.
And, I mainly got it because I needed a Dennis Nedry to go with my Legacy collection, because you know they have that San Diego Comic-Con that came out last year with the Cryo Can and him with his Hawaiian shirt. And
I think we're gonna get that again.
The Hawaiian shirt guy.
I think they'll repackage him because he wears like 3 different outfits.
Yeah.
In the thing, and so I wouldn't be surprised if we get a new one, because they just put out that Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
That figure of him, Jeff Goldblum, and then they did Laura Dern.
You're talking about for the Amber collection?
Yeah, for the Amber collection.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna buy all those. And they have a new line of Legends of Legacy stuff coming too, which will be cool. They're doing the kids and all that stuff. So I might have to start picking up more Jurassic Park stuff.
Yeah. And I think that's what they're mainly going to. I don't know if they're going to do anything for the Lost World, let alone Jurassic Park 3.
Yeah.
I mean, we got the Spinosaurus from that line, but I think what they know is that what's going to be more appealing to the collector community is the Legacy collection from the first film.
Yeah.
That's why they put in effort to putting out that Tyrannosaurus Escape pack with the ground tracker, with Tim Murphy and the T-Rex in it. So still waiting for that. I missed the pre-order for that, but it'll be in stores here shortly, so I'll find it eventually.
Yeah, the Jurassic Park stuff hasn't been too horrible to find. So that's been a nice thing. You know, it's one of the few things that they're getting out there. Everything else is a hassle.
Yeah.
But that's one nice thing about not collecting a ton of modern stuff is, you know, I do toy hunts for the channel, and it annoys me that I can't find anything to show anybody. But at the same time, I'm like, well, that saved me like $100. I don't have to spend today. You know, by finding a new wave of Black Series figures or something.
I gave up on Black Series a long time ago when they first initially released. I think at the time the scans and paint blotches and the crazy googly eyes just kind of turned me off, and I just like.
And I hate the packaging. And just that red and black box, I hated them.
Oh yeah.
Now that doesn't stop me from having like 50 of them, but I like the new packaging that creates that cool thing. And I think they made the exact same mistake with those Jurassic Park Ambers. I like the figures, but there's something off about the packaging I don't like. I think it should have been in the classic red Jurassic Park packaging, and it should have completed a mural of the characters along the side, just like a Black Series figure would have been.
Right.
But
yeah, that would have been cool.
Yeah, and that's why I haven't picked them up yet, is because they were like, eh. But now that, you know, Laura Dern's out, I'm like, okay, if I'm buying one, I'll buy 3 so that I can keep them, you know, before.
Right. I think you mentioned that you wanted to show off some of the pickups.
Yeah. Well, I got those 2 Goonie things. I picked up. I don't buy a lot anymore, but I always will pick up a new Soundwave. Nice. So I got him from the Kingdom Wars. They kept a new Batman things. Batman Returns armored Batmobile with the little cocoon thing all over it, and an animated series Batwing.
Right.
And then I do buy Star Trek stuff generally when I see it. So there's a Amigo Q.
Cool.
And then I had to buy a Willy Wonka.
There you go. Yeah.
So, you know, those. I didn't pick up a lot, but that's pretty much what I picked up.
All right. All right. Well, I picked up quite a bit, I guess you could say, besides those Masters of the WWE figures I showed. But that was a while back, though. That was like a couple weeks ago. But I did stumble across this that I had to have in the collection. And this is the Mechagodzilla.
Nice.
11-inch figure. And the neat thing about this, there was 2 in stores, and then when I saw it, a little kid was looking at it. And it made me so happy that a kid was actually trying to decide if he wanted this or the Godzilla or a Jurassic Park figure that I think he was looking at. And he knew all the names. He had to be about like 7 or 8, young kid. And he just ended up, his dad was like, oh, well, they're all the same prices, so you just pick which one you want. And so he grabbed the Mechagodzilla, and I grabbed the other one. So that made me happy right there. That put a smile on my face.
That's what
I don't really see a lot of kids pick up stuff and want to buy toys, you know.
Yeah, that's what I really liked about those new Leonard Predator and Alien toys.
Oh, yeah, I got all those.
They're not the best. They're not NECA or anything, but you know what? I've seen a lot of kids picking them up and buying them. And at $10 a piece, it's something they can collect.
Yeah.
It's great.
Let's see, what else do I have? I think I had everything. Oh, here is my latest Kenner pickup. Well, no, not my latest. Wow. It's probably like my second latest Kenner pickup, because you know I've been going ham on this Bone Age line.
Yeah.
So I was able to pick up Taro, the Pteranodon.
Cool.
And the only thing that's missing is the caveman and 2 bombs, but I can find those easily. Those aren't too hard to find. You know, may not be the price I want to pay for them, but
Yeah.
for those items. But I got this guy fairly cheap, though. I mean, he was I think got him for like $20, I think. So
Really?
yeah,
Wow.
I had to snag it. When I saw that, I was like, I asked the guy, I was like, how are the pegs? Because I always want to make sure the pegs are good, because since these pegs are like so brittle, you know, they're clear and they're brittle, and if you don't put them in right, they break on you, and you can't find a replacement. You know, if you can, but it just takes a while to track down. You know, not a lot of people sell replacement parts for your bone age. You know, you can't just call Kenner and be like, oh, hey, can I get another wing because I broke my tab.
You are one of only like 3 people I know who even collect Bone Age.
Really?
Yeah. It's not a very huge community because a lot of
No,
people
it's
forgot
not.
about it.
It's not. So
So,
that's
as a
why.
Jurassic Park collector, have you seen the Jurassic Park Transformers crossover?
Yes, I have, and I for $105.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to
But
get
that's
it, but I
about how
don't want to
much
get it.
those are. The
Yeah, for that
Ghostbusters
set.
one was 59, and so was the Back to the Future was 39, I think. God, I love him. That is so cool.
Yeah, it's large too, and you know these dinosaur bones for Bone Age, they're not in scale at all.
Yeah, no.
This pteranodon is like super huge, and it's like it dwarfs like a lot of the larger dinosaurs that you would think, you know. But yeah, that's Taro. Got him, and I bought a grail set that I've always wanted from a collector friend of mine that I've known for a while, and it's a Kenner um, Lost World Jurassic Park set, and it was like later down on the line, and I don't think it sold very well, but now it's like crazy expensive. But he gave me an amazing deal on the set that he was getting rid of, because you know he's trying to reset his collection, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, I think everybody should always reset their collection, but this is the dinosaur or dino tracker adventure set. Trying to think if that's, I know that's a mouthful, but that's the name of it. But it comes with 2 dinosaurs and a human, a tracker. And so here is the tracker, and here is the bag full of accessories with capture gear and
Nice.
net launchers and things like that. It's loaded, and and it comes with 2 dinosaurs that, you know, one of them has been released by Mattel, but and it comes with the Dino damage. Let me trying to do this, but this is the Scootosaurus. Comes with the Dino damage right there,
Yeah.
and it's made of a rubbery piece, and
That's the first thing that kids lose.
yeah, so and so here is the Scootosaurus, and this little action feature right there,
Cool.
and it's very hollow too. And then the second dinosaur in the set, I can't really pronounce the name, and if I do pronounce it, I might be saying it wrong. Uh, I think it's called the Emanosuchus, I think, and it's a crazy looking creature,
Yeah.
and it's dino damage right here. And then here's his little action feature.
Cool.
So
You
yeah,
say
this is the Grail
you
set that
bought
I
Dino?
have.
Did you buy Dino Riders as a kid?
I had some. I think I had uh, the the one with Youngstar, the Quetzalcoatlus, the little rubber one, you know,
Uh-huh.
that came with the little when they had the little glider,
Yeah.
and I had that one. I had the Ankylosaurus with Ant. I think that's what it's called, Ant, the Rulon, and then I had the Saurolophus. You know, I had that, and I want to say I had the Raptor, but I didn't have the Rulon Raptor with the brain box. I think I had the good guy one. So I had a few of those. Sadly, I don't have none of them, but
Yeah.
I do. I don't have none of the gear or anything, but I do have the T
Oh,
Rex,
cool.
and he works. You know, he does his walk and everything. He's just missing his battery cover. And I got this from Steel on eBay, and the guy was getting rid of it, and I think I got this and the Triceratops for like $30.
Wow,
$30.
that's good.
And normally this would go about 80 by itself, the way it is right now.
Yeah. I always like how they worked a wheel into its tail.
Yeah.
So we could drag it along.
So I got that, and I got a few others. They're somewhere in this room, hidden.
Pretty much you put dinosaurs in anything and kids will buy it. We love dinosaurs.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And so
even
those
Cadillacs and dinosaurs.
Yeah. I don't have it. Well, they were produced by Tyco. So speaking of Tyco, I will be doing I'm not going to tell you what it is. You have to watch the video. So I do have an eBay purchase video coming soon with a particular Tyco line. So it is not what you think it is. I'll tell you that much. But see what else. So yesterday, my local movie trading company, which is also under the same banner as Vintage Stock. I don't know if you heard of Vintage Stock or Entertain Mart. It's like a kind of like I don't know if you had one at the time called Hastings.
Yeah.
But
we barely got Hastings before they closed. They didn't move this far near Colorado.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so yeah, sadly mine closed like almost 10 years ago. So that was the environment of that place, as far as, how it was ran in my area. That was like the best time that was like the hangout spot.
Yeah.
But anyways, so
they did it wasn't Hastings, it was another, they had a bigger kind of like a Second and Charles type store.
Right.
I can't remember what it was called out here. And they had started those, and then that's when they started shutting down. I spent so much money on comics, and when they, all the videos, and then they went 90% off, and I was like, oh dear God, okay, get me another cart. I'll just buy everything.
But yeah, we have a Second and Charles here in Texas. It's like further down south, probably like 6 hours from me. But yeah, they're not very common. They're scattered pretty much everywhere. I think there's like one in like every 5 states. I think every 5 states, there might be one. Because I know a buddy of mine that lives in Georgia that he goes to one all the time over there. But movie trading company always has their sales to run for the holidays, and all their their used toys are always 33% off. So I got a few of these, and one that I was really looking forward to picking up eventually. And these guys go for about $30 or probably a little bit more, but I got him for $10. So to add to my Playmates collection, my Star Trek Deep Space Nine, I was able to get Rom with his son Nog.
Yeah.
Is right there. You see his little head right there. He's like packaged right there. So he comes, for some reason, some come behind the card, the little pog thing, and some come in front of it. But yeah, so that's Nog right there. So Deep Space Nine is like my favorite out of the franchise, the Star Trek franchise. I love that show, and I'm currently still watching it too. I'm watching all of it now again for like maybe the second or third time.
Yeah.
I love that show so much. And while I do like The Next Generation, it's just something about Deep Space Nine and Commander Cisco is just what's just
Cisco's my favorite captain.
Yeah.
I like DS9 because it remembers what happened last week. They just don't fly away and let those people deal with their issues.
Right.
You have to deal with it.
Exactly.
Plus, they have such a good. Garrick and Gul Dukat, all those guys. Such a good supporting cast. Rom and Nog are great examples of supporting cast guys who weren't even really supposed to be in the show, and they just became part of the show.
Yeah, Quark is like my favorite character. I love Quark.
Odo's my favorite.
Yeah, Odo's my second favorite too. And sadly, the actor died last year. I think he passed away
Yeah,
last year.
Rene Agenois. He was
Yeah,
such a sweet man.
and I was able to pick up the Hunter of Tosk,
Cool.
and I do need to find a Tosk figure. So I know that they have another character of him. I can't remember which line it was, but uh, I think they're supposed to go together. I'm not sure. They don't have them on the back card back, but what I really want is Zeke, the Grand Nagus.
Oh yeah.
Zeke. I need him because that's Quark's and Rom's father. You know. And then I picked up. I don't remember. I think you probably remember this episode, but when LaForge becomes this creature thing.
Oh yeah.
Also, I do want to get his the Toy Fair version where he's like that color.
Yeah. He's
Yeah,
the
I do need
brighter
to look at.
blue. Yeah.
Yeah, the blue translucent color. I don't know how much it goes for, but I'm pretty sure it's for pretty pricey. And then
You would
the
be
big,
surprised on Playmates Trek stuff. It's weird what's
yeah,
pricey and what isn't.
yeah, and the thing is, before like a few years ago, you could buy these like super cheap. They were everywhere. Now they're gone up in prices.
Yeah.
And this is the big thing I picked up.
Nice. I love
So this
that
is real.
set. $12.
Yeah, $12,
Oh,
and this was 33% off.
wow.
So yeah, when I saw that, I was like, I had to have it. I had to have it just to have all the captains all in one set. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Even though it's been opened, it's opened. It's got a little bit of wear and tear, but I'm gonna display it like this.
It's nice. The other one I really like is the anniversary bridge set they did for Classic Trek.
Yeah, I have that one too.
Nice set.
I don't know if maybe I don't. Maybe I threw it away. I guess I have no idea. But going back to my best friend Daryl, I think his brother-in-law had that set but didn't want it, so he just gave it to me. And he wasn't a Trekkie fan, and so he just said, "Here, you can have it. I don't collect this shit." so, so I have all the characters and the weapons, but I'm only missing Aurora and the other one that's in the red uniform. Can't think of it at the top of my dome.
This is
But
one
those
of
are the only
Quark's
two.
best lines. I
Yeah.
love the Bajorans, such a deeply spiritual culture, but they make a dreadful ale. Never trust an ale from a God-fearing people or a Starfleet commander who has one of your relatives in jail. I love that one, and I love when he's trying to explain root beer to Worf, and or to Odo, either way, and it was just hilarious.
I just met Salacious Rum today. I just talked to him on Instagram. He had
Salacious is a good guy.
he hit me up and let me know about his podcast and his channel, and he liked a whole bunch of shit on my page, and I was like, I think that name's familiar because I think I've seen him either on your channel or Sleeping's channel. Can't
Yeah,
remember.
Rum's around. He's either with us or he's on the Pegwarmers or he's with Sleeping, and he's actually had Sleeping on his channel, and he's part of a group called 3 Men and a Monkey Lizard.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he was telling me about
Great
that.
show there too. He's hilarious. Cool. I haven't seen a lot of Trek stuff recently.
It's not within my reach, but I know I did pick up. Looking at it right now, I at a local store called Retro Madness, and I did pick up the what is it? The transporter, the next
Oh
generation
yeah.
transporter set, in box and everything. Everything's there,
Neat.
And it had a lot of wear and tear on the box, but you could tell somebody picked it up and just put it in a garage or something and just forgot about it, and then they think they pulled it out recently and just said, I don't need this.
Yeah. It's like, when did I buy this? What is
And,
this? I really wish Playmates would get the Star Trek license back and start remaking stuff again.
I thought they did have it. Didn't they do all the
They they lost it a while ago. Like recently, they just lost the Turtle license completely.
Wait,
So
what?
it's not even something they can make anymore. Next year, it's either next year or early 2023. Mattel loses Masters of the Universe.
That's why they're pushing for all this, pumping
Yep.
out all the Origin stuff. And
Yeah, they're trying to get all this stuff out now because they lose the license, or at least the master license. But I'd love them to get that back and start making. I don't know if I want Black Series figures of Trek. I would love them and I would probably buy them all. But if Playmates is making them, they'd make hundreds because they'll make everything because that's what Playmates does.
yeah.
I don't know if I could afford that.
Yeah.
I would love if they'd make 3 3/4 inch like vintage, like the vintage Star Wars figures, that have all the points of articulation and all that. I'd love them to do that for Trek, but I think they would go back to their 5-inch line and make that, just make it better. Because right there, those sculpts are incredible on those figures for being 20 years old.
Yeah, because if
that Hunter was great. Now the Rom's not so wonderful. I mean, he's pretty good, but that Nog is just a plastic thing. But yeah, I mean, look at the head sculpt on that. It's great. Just beautiful. And it's got points of articulate. It has, it would need knees and stuff like that, but it has elbow joints. It has mid-arm joints.
Let me grab something real quick. Man, I got so much shit all over the place. I can't even get anywhere. It's so crazy. That's what happens when you try to reset your room and stuff, and it's just like you think you have a way to find stuff. You don't.
No, and as you're going along, you just end up making a bigger mess than when you started.
Yeah, just grabbing that one Terminator thing and knocked down like 20 figures. Yeah, so here's
Quark. Look at that. And that was 94, I think. So that figure is almost over 20 years old, and look at the sculpt on that. It's beautiful.
Yeah, and I love that they have his original outfit, and they included all the stuff from that Grand Negus episode when they made him. It comes with his little anteater creature thing and his staff, and this little money thing, his gold bars and stuff. And they thought of everything. And what's so awesome about Playmates in their Star Trek line is that they'll give their characters their original outfits, and and then they'll later lines they'll put them in an alternate outfit for various reasons. But they also include all the accessories that may have for a particular key episode like this. Who would have thought of it?
Like I said, I worked for KB for quite a few years, and I was actually working with our buyer, and he, because KB got those 9-inch Star Trek figures, and they were exclusives, and we actually worked on what episodes we wanted and what accessories we wanted to come with it. And Playmates would come back and say, well, that wasn't from that episode, it's from this episode, would you like these other 3 things? And we're like, oh yeah, we didn't even think about that for it. And so they knew in their head exactly what accoutrement you should put with these things. Right. And it was so fun to go and make like a piece of the action figures and stuff like that for classic Trek or stuff like that, and actually have people who understood what you were talking about.
One of the things I want to do with my channel is I notice that I sometimes when I get a particular vintage stuff, I always get on YouTube and see like who reviews these particular items and if there's anything like legit reviews. And I didn't go through everything, but for the majority of the listing that I've seen, a lot of people, they just talk about a collection of these figures, or they talk about their collection, or they talk about certain things that were made for this collection. But hardly, if any, there's very little reviews on individual figures.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to bring that back. So what I'm going to do is here soon, if you're subscribed to the channel, if you're interested in watching stuff like this, I'm going to be doing individual reviews for all the characters that I have in my collection. I have all the card packs. We'll go through all of that stuff in the details, and we'll discuss each individual episode that this character is based on, if you have seen it. Now, I'm not saying that I'm very knowledgeable on Star Trek like that, but I know enough to make the review like something like this or this,
Mm-hmm.
to talk about the episode a little bit and what it means and stuff. So that's what I decided to do, is to get an individual review of individual characters, that people haven't touched bases on. So I think that's something that I think that might be pretty cool if you're interested in
I'd
watching.
watch that.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I am with my collection. Is when I do reviews and stuff, I don't do figures because I don't open figures.
Right.
So while I could reach up and I could reach up and just grab this John Connor and start talking about John Connor and how he was in the movie and stuff, I couldn't really tell you about the joints on it or how well it works with the motorcycle or things like that. And so I don't do that kind of reviewing. All my collection videos are collections of what I own, and I would watch stuff like that. I would definitely watch stuff like that, because it is something that's missing. Everybody does Black Series, everybody does Legends, but not a lot of people do vintage.
And if they do that, or if they did do that, that was like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I think now some are actually coming back a little bit, but it's not a wide variety like it would be, like it was probably some 8-10 years ago, and if they did do it, it's just like some of the well-known characters. Nobody would ever think to do a review on a Quark. They would do a review like on a Playmates Picard, because everybody knows who Picard is.
Yeah.
But not a lot of people would know who Quark is.
Or once you got the Grand Nagus, you could just do a Ferengi special.
Yeah.
On all four of the guys, and talk about a couple of their great episodes. The Little Green Men is my favorite episode with Quark and Ram and Nog. Yeah. He's taking Nog back. He's going to take Nog to Starfleet headquarters, and they get caught in a time warp, and they're sent back. And Ram and Nog and Quark are the Roswell crash.
Yeah. And
so they're trying to figure out, and Odo's with them, and it's really well done. It's a great episode.
And the thing about Odo and Quark, they got that love-hate relationship. They mesh so well. Their interactions with each other is hilarious.
I think there was an episode called The Ascent, which was they're doing something and they crash, and it's just Odo, and the whole episode is basically just Odo and Quark, and they have to get this receiver to the top of a mountain, and so they're constantly having to. They bicker constantly. I think Quark's hurt his leg or something, or something's wrong. The atmosphere doesn't allow Odo to shift back. And so he starts, literally falling apart like he does. And it's another great episode. But I would definitely watch, I'd watch that stuff. I look for Trek stuff all the time, and nobody cares about Trek except to bitch about, what they don't like about Picard or Discovery, which, I get.
I've yet to watch that series. Is it good? Is it worth getting? Or
Discovery was weird because it's, the first half of each season isn't very good, but the second half saves the series. Picard was a mess, just an absolute mess. They treat his character horribly. They talk down to him. They belittle him constantly. The Romulans have Irish accents for some reason. It's weird, but I think the second season is going to do much better. But you know, and I don't know where, you know, Discovery is now 1,000 years in the future, so I don't know what's up with that. But there's going to be 5 Star Trek series is running simultaneously on you know, Paramount Plus, but as they got that Lower Deck show, and then there's the new Voyager type show with Janeway, and then there's a Captain Pike show as well. He's getting a spinoff from Discovery. So, you know, well, okay, like Mark says, there's an Ireland. Everybody has an Ireland. But yeah, so it's good, not brilliant, just good. That's pretty much it. It's watchable. If you have Paramount Plus, it doesn't cost you anything. You might as well just watch it.
Yeah, I never really grew up watching the original Star Trek, but I did watch Generation with my oldest sister. That was a show she and I watched together and really enjoyed. And then when Deep Space Nine came about, she lost interest for whatever reason. She just stopped watching after a couple episodes, and so I was on my own on that one. So I really enjoyed that. I watched all of that, and then by the time Voyager came around, I watched a little bit of it, but I didn't really watch all of it to really know much about it. Of course, you know, of course, 7 of 9. Who doesn't know who that is?
Exactly.
You know, but other than that, I do think I would like to, at some point, once I get done watching Deep Space Nine, is to kind of go back and revisit Voyager. You know, kind of dive into that series a little bit, see how that is.
Kind of like, I'd say they're a lot like most Star Trek series. The first couple seasons aren't great because they're working out their characters a lot, working out where they want the show to go. And it's the same with DS9 and the same with Voyager. You know, the first couple seasons are more like story of the week things. And then like when DS9 hit season 3 through 7 and the Dominion War and all that other stuff, it just glides. And so does Voyager when it hits about season 3, once 7 of 9 joins and they really start working on these expanded warp drive things and all this other stuff. It's pretty good. And Enterprise is the same way. The first couple seasons of Enterprise can actually be hard to watch. And seasons 3 and 4 are really, really good because they really decided to go ahead and just shoot for classic Trek. And yeah, but
wasn't that supposed to be like a prequel to the original or to the?
Yeah, Enterprise is set 25 years, I think, 20 or so, 25 years before classic Trek. And then Discovery is supposedly set just after Enterprise. I don't know. Picard and Discovery are not necessarily in the real Star Trek canon because they still got caught up in all that J.J. Abrams stuff and the fight between Paramount and CBS. So that's why those two shows are vastly different from normal Trek. But yeah, it's hard to follow where all that actually lays out. But, you know, yeah, a lot of people don't like the main character in Discovery. She can be very grating for the first season. Then she kind of gets into it. She's a lot like, have you watched the new Treks, the 3 movies?
Yeah.
What do you think about Chris Pine as Kirk?
I actually thought that was actually a good choice, you know, in my opinion. I
Michael
enjoyed him as
is a lot like him, where she's basically kind of handed things and takes, you know, the word is no, I am therefore going anyway type of approach to being on the show. And that rubbed a lot of people, I think, the wrong way. But it was still a decent show. And like I said, the second half of the seasons really pick up. And has Jason Isaacs is in the first season. It's got a great cast. But I think, well, yeah, that kind of, we're not going to go into the canon they rewrite. But because apparently she's an adopted daughter of Spock's mom and dad, which, you know,
interesting.
Just didn't talk about that for 70 some years. But now, do you watch the Orville?
No, I have not seen that yet.
The Orville is the best Star Trek they've made in years. It's made by Seth MacFarlane, so you don't think it's going to be good because you just think of Family Guy. But he is a huge Star Trek fan. And yeah, there are some dumb jokes in there and stuff, but Orville is probably the best Star Trek they've made since DS9, really.
Okay.
It's really well done. I really hope that they get the season 3. There was no reason for it to be canceled. It had pretty decent ratings. But again, if you can catch it, I think it's on Hulu. But that's a good show. I'd love some figures and stuff from that too, but that won't ever happen. Canceled shows hardly ever get anything.
I know that Playmates did the figures for the Star Trek films.
Mm-hmm.
Vastly different from the original line that they did.
Too many sizes.
Yeah,
they had 3 3/4 inch, they had the 5 inch, they had the 9 inch, and they had the 12 inch. It's like they tried to cover everything. Kind of like the new, you might not have seen it, the Snake Eyes movie that's coming out. Hasbro is doing the exact same thing. They're making 3 3/4 inch figures. They're making, the 6 inch Black Series figures. They're making 9 inch figures. And it's like you're oversaturating your market.
What do you think of that film or trailer? I don't know.
It looks okay. Of course, we're not supposed to know what Snake Eyes looks like. I think it's going to be weird because it's going to get a lot of comparisons to Shang-Chi in a lot of ways, I think. But I'll probably watch it. That's a maybe. We're going to definitely see Black Widow this week. But mostly we want to go see things just to get out of the damn house and go to a theater again. So I might end up seeing it just because it's something to go see at the theater, but
yeah, I'm looking forward to Jurassic World Dominion next year.
I know. I was so sad when they pushed that off another year. It's like, oh, come on.
I guess they didn't think the world was going to be opening back up this soon.
Yeah. Well, and then Pratt was doing that other one that just came out.
Yeah.
He had a couple movies, and they better get off the ball because they're supposed to start shooting Guardians of the Galaxy 3 in like November.
Isn't that supposed to be what's his name's last film?
It's supposed to be the guy who plays Drax may or may not even be in the movie.
Yeah. He said he doesn't want to do it after this one.
Well, they'll throw money at him. He also said he was never coming back to the WWE. How many times has he done that?
Right.
The same with The Rock, but that could be good. The last Trek movie wasn't so horrible that Simon Pegg couldn't write a Galaxy Quest series. I don't know how that would work without Alan Rickman.
Right.
I don't think they're going to be able to get Sigourney Weaver. I mean, Tim Allen will probably come do it. He just finished his thing, and he did say he wanted to take a couple of years off, but they throw money at him. Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, I hadn't seen Galaxy Quest in a long time. It's been a minute.
That was such a good show. That's another thing that Super 7 could do figures for, and I'd buy them all.
Oh, Galaxy Quest?
Yeah. Super 7's got to get away from 5 Point, though. I know it's kind of the thing they do, but they can make such beautiful figures that are more than, not like I'm talking because I'm not going to open them anyway.
Right.
But, the 5 POA it's a sticking point for some people to even buy any of their figures. They got the Power Rangers and the Beavis and Butthead and the Universal Monsters and stuff out at Target now.
Yeah, I've seen
Apart from people complaining about the price, they're like, oh, they don't move a lot. That's the point of them. But
that's the whole point.
Yeah, that's just what they are. But
it's supposed to show you what it would look like if if Kenner or somebody that made 5POA back in the day would look like.
Exactly.
If Mattel never got the license for the Turtles, I said Turtles, He-Man.
Yeah.
If Kenner picked it up, then that's what it would look like.
Yeah, and He-Man was originally supposed to be 3 3/4 inches.
Yeah, you're right.
So that's, everybody's like, oh, what are these? Well, they're what they were supposed to be in the day. Where I think both Reaction and Super 7 went astray was when they started doing new stuff like Arrow and Flash and Tomorrowland.
I actually saw some Arrow figures of that at Movie Trading Company. I was like, ugh.
Exactly, because that's not the aesthetic we want for Arrow figures.
No,
but if they'd have made those like a vintage collection figure that has nice sculpting and everything, I think those would have sold. But I think there's a stopping point at about 92 or 93 for Super 7, and they shouldn't do anything beyond that. They did Goonies figures, and they did Escape from New York, and they did all that kind of stuff.
Jaws and Gremlins and Aliens.
Jaws and Gremlins and Transformers and Robotech.
That's the thing that I regret is not picking up the Jaws figures when I could. I have the Shark, I have Bruce, but I don't have I don't have Quint or any of the other characters.
Yeah,
I'm still kicking myself in the head for that today, because now when I go look for them and see if anybody's selling them, they want like $100 for a set of 3. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
It's like ridiculous. It's like $50 per figure. I'm like, no.
I don't know if they'd be that high, John. Some of them do have more than 5 points, but yeah, they would probably be a little more expensive. Yeah. What you need to look for now is, and it should be out by now, is Funko did a ship with a Quint, like being eaten by the shark, so the shark is eating half the ship and him. And I haven't seen it. I got to go over to Second Charles. That's the best place to pick up pops around me.
I think the last thing I bought of Funko, like an actual like stuff like that, was the can't think of it right now. Crystal, the
Dark Crystals.
Dark Crystal, yeah. The figures for that show, that I bought the whole set of that. I had to buy that because I missed out on the originals, and they're like crazy expensive. They went like an arm and a leg for those, for like the original figures for the original movie.
Well, and same with those Funko figures they made, the 3 3/4 inch figures. Those are hard to find now too. I love those. Those sets were so cool. Same with the Planet of the Apes. Super 7 is totally doing another set of those too. But anyway, like I said, you can put anything on those cards and I'd buy it.
Right.
I have some of the Motus. I have a little bit of, I've tried to pick up something. They just announced like 5 U.S. women's soccer figures.
Ooh, cool.
Well, those are dumb, but I'm going to probably buy one anyway because I need it for the collection.
I guess it all depends on the players too. Who are they going to make?
Yeah, and the others. Something else. Oh, they did a new set of basketball and a new set of baseball ones. And I like the packaging on them, and it annoys me that I'm going to end up starting to buy some of those again.
Yeah, I remember them showing them not recently, but I think the last toy fair that they had, like last year. Mm-hmm. I think when they showed that stuff, I was like, damn, they're really diving into all this stuff, Well, they look really. I think I'm going to get clean.
Like the Jackie Robinson. I might get some of the classic characters or athletes, because I don't know any of the new guys. You throw a George Brett out there, or Babe Ruth, Hank Aaron, stuff like that. I'll probably buy all those, but I don't know any of these new people.
Get you a Gary Walker figure.
If they put anybody out from Denver, I'll buy them. But apart from that, and the Super 7s that they did for Peanuts, those are, who would have ever thought to even make those? And they're so
I would
good.
Never have thought of that.
They're beautiful figures. I can't wait. They're supposedly doing a new set for the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown for this Halloween. I'll buy them all. I have to. But yeah, so I don't know, but well, it's
What
been a couple hours. I don't want to keep you if you've got something else you need to do.
Oh no, shit. My wife knew that I was planning to do this, so she knows I'll be on this for a while.
Okay. Well, if you guys have any questions, or if you guys have seen anything new that we haven't talked about, let me know. Um, are you watching either Bad Batch or Loki?
No, we got rid of Disney Plus recently, because of it was just too much stuff being paid streaming services, and we had to go ahead and chop it off for a little bit,
Yeah,
because reduced hours at work and stuff. Because I'm the only one that actually that's working at the moment, so kind of
no,
had
that
to
is. I just
scale
got rid
back a
of
little bit.
HBO Max and
Oh, we
Paramount
still
Plus.
have that. The only thing that we have is HBO Max and Netflix.
Yeah,
So I think once the hours picks up for busy season, we'll probably end up doing that bundle pack with the
oh, the
Disney
Hulu
and
and
Hulu
ESPN.
and all that stuff. Kind of
It's not a bad deal for $14.
right.
So, and Disney is just pumping stuff out onto there. There's always something new getting on there. And once they have, I guess they're unlocking all they're going to move all the Fox stuff over to Hulu and basically turn Hulu into a giant Disney Plus thing for all the Fox shows and movies and everything. And they've already done it in Europe, and I guess they're going to start doing it here at some point next year. So that'll be cool.
Hold on one second. My audio's choppy real quick. Hold on. Let me.
GeForce, I do not know about these. Battle of the
Can you hear
Planets
me?
figures. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I don't know if it's going to be echoey or not because my headphones are like going in and out now, so it looks like I have to get some new ones. But Chris, what I wanted to ask you was, what kind of stuff do you have in your collection?
I mostly have, of course, I've got uh, mostly classic Star Wars. Of course, that was what I started buying, and then I've got uh, Dragonheart and Waterworld and some Swamp Thing, some Robin Hood, uh, Prince of Thieves, The Shadow.
You got a lot of stuff that I got.
Yeah, and Congo
I love it.
and all kinds of
That was the easiest set to collect because there wasn't hardly anything there.
yeah. Mask, the car transformer mask things, as well as some Jim Carrey mask stuff.
That I would like to add to my collection. I don't have uh, like some of the stuff that I don't have as far as when it comes to Kenner and their properties. I don't have anything to represent the mask, um,
Mhm.
the Jim Carrey film, that is. A friend of mine did donate a vehicle from the mask, the Hurricane.
Oh
Uh,
yeah,
so he had an extra one and he threw it in the package that we made a trade with each other. So that's like the only vehicle I have or only item I have from that line. Um, let's see what else. I'm trying to think. Kenner made so much shit back then.
of course I've got quite a lot of Batman,
Yeah.
animated series and normal, RoboCop, Real Ghostbusters. I have some original Raiders figures from back in the day.
I do have a couple of the ghosts from the Ghostbusters. I do have one Silverhawk, and that's
Nice.
Quicksilver. He's the only one I got, and the only one I got is because of my friend Daryl. He donated that to me, and he's real bad shape, but I love him to death. Just because of the fact that I have that in my collection.
Super Seven's making deluxe versions of Silverhawks
I'm
this
not in.
year,
I don't.
but they're like $50 a piece. It's like that's too much.
Yeah, I don't. I'm good. I'm happy with the one Silverhawk that I have. Um, Trying to think. I did buy, like you, I did buy all the retro Ghostbusters. The only one I'm missing, well, I can go to the store and buy it now if I wanted to. It's the toilet thing, the fearsome flush.
Yeah.
I need to pick him up. I did see him at Walmart the other day, and there are like 30 of them. So that tells me I'm not in no rush to get it.
Yeah, I don't think either of those two are going to be hard to get.
No.
Well,
And
none
then,
of that stuff really has been. All that
oh,
stuff is really actually really well produced.
it's actually, because I made a fatal mistake once and I'll never do it again because I know that usually the first initial release will always sell out for the most part. But then once they restock, it kind of tends to warm up a little bit because everybody bought everything the first time around
Yeah.
and saw how well it sold, and then they just restock it, and then look, you see all those Ghostbuster stuff still warming the shelves, for the most part. Not at every place, but for some places they do.
Well, what's
Uh,
weird
yeah,
around here is all the uh, all the Ghostbusters have disappeared out of our stores.
really.
I went to a couple Walmarts to do some hunts, and there's the Slimer and the Stay Puff and the two new monsters,
Yeah,
but they had none of the guys, which is the
yeah,
exact same thing that happened around the time when King Kong came out. All of a sudden, all that stuff just disappeared.
yep,
And it was like, wow, where'd it go? It was just literally here last week.
yep. Because that's how it was when King Kong got delayed. The Godzilla versus Kong got delayed. They went ahead and still released all the figures for the first series, and that series warmed the shelves for like an entire year
Yeah.
almost.
And it
And
was a
then once
joke in every one of my all my
yeah,
toy hunts. It was saying, here's Godzilla and King Kong. Maybe if the movie comes out, somebody will buy some of this crap, and then you move along.
yeah,
And then
and
the
then
trailer came out, and everybody was like, holy shit, and came and bought it all.
it was gone, and,
Yeah.
and they still barely. I was lucky, like I said, when I just recently bought that Mecha Godzilla. I barely saw it, and there was barely any product on the shelves. There's like maybe one or two Kongs there, and that was
Yeah.
it.
Because then when the movie came out, they got they got those dumpers that they put in the middle of the floor.
Yeah.
That was wiped clean too when I got there. And they just put out one for He-Man, the new He-Man figures for Space Jam, and there's one coming for Snake Eyes.
Yeah.
And so those are all dropped in the floor, and I think all that stuff's going to sell out, and that'll be that.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And it's like you barely saw any restock of the Kong versus Godzilla movie. I mean, yeah, you still see some, but it's not like a whole lot of it like it was the first time around. And I don't know if it's because they only got like limited shipping or just people actually are still buying that stuff. But who knows?
And the movie was just released on DVD and stuff, and they've got a big shipper for the movie and stuff.
Yeah.
And there were kids looking at it and wanted to talk about the toys, but there aren't any because they're all sold out. I think that which must not be named is really, I think it's going to take us a year or so to really get back to where everything being shipped and stuff gets back in line with where it was.
Yeah, it's going to take a minute.
Dave, what is that play set behind you?
Which one? This one?
Yeah.
This one?
That one.
That is the Jurassic Park Command Center.
Oh, all right. Yeah. Okay. I didn't recognize it from behind.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I bought this from a friend of mine who was selling it. He gave me a real good deal on it. And so There's the inside of it, the egg hatching chamber. And I don't have the batteries inside the electronic thing for the security, because sometimes if you leave batteries in that thing, it just starts to talk to you out of nowhere. Hey, it gets real annoying after a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the Jurassic Park Command Center, the command compound. And I do have all the fencing and all the other accessories that it's just in the gate, just put up right now. I just put it there, just kind of make it my background a little bit more neater.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why it's there. So.
It's kind of sad that Kenner can't make stuff like that anymore, because it just wouldn't sell anymore.
No. That's that and the Ewok Forest is the only place that I have, to be honest. I'm not talking about vehicle wise, I'm talking about actual play sets.
Yeah.
I do have all the Robin. Let me see if I can. I do have all the Robin Hood figures right there.
Nice.
So I have them all on card, and I do have the battle wagon and the little smaller weapons accessory, with the bola blaster, the bola thing, and the net launcher. The only thing I need to finish out my collection is the Sheriff Forest. And my buddy, One Man Toy Show, who's been watching us, he has it. And he hit me up and said, dude, I had the only thing that you need. So if you want it, you have something you can trade, or we'll come up with a price. So we're going to work out on a deal for that. So hopefully I'll be able to add that Sheriff Forest to my collection real soon. One of these days, hopefully.
Yeah.
But
and that was a weird series of Kenner reusing Superpowers figures and Star Wars figures and Star Wars playsets.
Because I think that the small weapon accessories, like the net launcher and the bola thing, that's all from Bone Age. It's Bone Age parts. Yeah.
Yeah, the Sherwood Forest is just the Ewok playset.
Yeah.
The Ewok attack
wagon.
All they did was change the name to Robin Hood Attack Wagon.
Yeah. Let's see. Here's one of my penguins that fell.
Nice.
When I was getting that.
Those are some Pegwarmers that are very expensive to get now too. Is that?
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
It's like, what the heck? That's why I always say, don't sleep on those Pegwarmers, because one day you're gonna want one, and they're gonna be terrible. They're gonna be expensive as shit.
Yep. And that's usually it. I mean, the people who have a hard time finishing their original Star Wars figure sets are the people who couldn't get them because that final few figures went to Europe, or they just didn't buy them and they sold out, and that was that.
Yep.
Nice.
I bought this at let's see. See, this is what I'm talking about. Look at this artwork. It's just like, it's incredible.
Yeah.
It's as try as all the other companies have made, they'll never be on Kenner's level. Not even today. I mean, look at NECA when they did the homage to the Alien and Predator figures. They could never get that artwork right, because it's not the original piece, So, but yeah, I got this for $45.
Wow.
Yeah, this was like a year ago.
That's not much more than it was when it came out.
Yeah, because it says KB. Actually, this was, if you look at this, it says $24, and it was on sale for $12.99.
Yep.
So. There.
Cool.
Hey, look at that. You could use part of the wagon as a wall and stuff. So yeah, it's just, I love this stuff.
And today people would just bitch because that wasn't in the movie. Yeah, JT's got a point. Back in his day, Robin Hood worked with the Ewoks to defeat the evil empire led by the Sheriff of Nottingham. Yep, Bolo Bombers. Nice.
Got 2 of these in that net launcher. You can tell if you look at the back, that's straight from Bone Age.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Same thing with this one.
They were nice. They were great little sets.
Oh yeah.
And now playsets and vehicles are an afterthought. Back in that day, Kenner would plan ahead and they'd be like, okay, we need a playset, a couple vehicles, and some figures.
Do you remember these?
That is I don't remember. No, what is it?
G.I. Joe Extreme.
Oh, yeah. I have a couple of those.
Yeah, I love this line. I mean, I know it's not Hasbro G.I. Joes, but for some reason, I just love this line. I don't know. Even though it's not G.I. Joe, it's not the Joes that we know.
Yeah.
These figures are just fun. They're just so much fun. Yeah, I love them.
I had somebody give me a cell from the show.
Yeah.
And what was nice about those Joes is they came with a lot of different weaponry and stuff.
Oh yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what Super 7 does with G.I. Joe.
Are they going to make the little?
I don't know if they're going to make 5-point or not.
This is the only Beetlejuice I have. The shish kebab.
Shish kebabbed.
Yeah, nice. He's missing a few of these things, but I love it. I love the fact that you can take his little eyeball.
I still wish somebody would have done some figures based on the animated series.
Yeah, it's funny how this is based on the movie. You wouldn't think that would be based on the movie, but it is.
Yeah.
It's like each figure is based on a certain scene from the film. You know?
Which, that's something Kenner moved forward with too. Before Kenner did it, you never really got rated R movies being turned into things.
No.
And you would have never seen, like, I remember when the Aliens and Predator figures came out at Toys R Us, we were like, well, these are a little violent for kids. Nice.
You know who this is, don't you?
Hawkins, right?
Close.
Wilkins, okay.
Yeah, Dominic Wilkins.
Dominic, yeah.
This was when basketball was fun. When guys like him and Muggsy Bogues and and Tim Hardaway and just amazing plays. Vin Baker.
Yeah.
Them guys and Clyde Drexler, Clyde the Glide, So
the mailman, Dikembe Mutombo.
Grandma Ma, Larry Johnson.
Oh yeah. When I was a kid, it was always the Celtics versus the Lakers. That was the big thing until the Bulls knocked them out, and then it was the Bulls and Celtics, big rivalries. Cool. Dun 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 dun. I mean, Terminator's incredibly violent. That they made toys and they all sold so well.
Yeah, look at those eyes. You shining the light in.
Yeah, I love that feature. And when they put it in the Jawas too, it worked out real well.
Yeah. I got 2 of these loose. And the accessories are outrageous.
Yeah. That was another good thing. It may not, you can look at the Water World or the Dragonheart. Well, sure, they didn't use that stuff, but you need it to play with. You couldn't just give them a gun and that would be it. And play features, something else that is just so missing anymore.
Yeah, God forbid they don't put actions in action figures, right?
Yeah, because everybody wants to put them in their own little things. That's exactly what the commercial would do too. That kid would be like, "Come here," punch
Yep.
him.
Man, those Kenner commercials are great. Yeah. Let's see what else I got. Oh yeah. Can't forget this line.
Cool. I have several of those.
Yeah. This is the first one I saw. I just grabbed. I got like a few of these myself. So.
Got a motorcycle. I have like 4 of the figures, and I have the motorcycle still.
Man, the cartoon was so hilarious at the time.
Oh,
I watched a few episodes again recently. It's not as funny as it was back then, but
yeah,
it's still fun to watch, though. Let's see what else I got here. Now this is one of my favorites right here. Now I know you have one of these in your collection.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is like my favorite Batman. This is like the definitive Batman you have to have out of the Dark Knight collection. You know, if you don't have the Toy Biz one, I highly recommend finding one of these because this is like close to the original as you can get. Aside from all the outlandish outfits they gave him out of all the other,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think I wore out his. I think I wore out his little popper thing.
That was on his arm or something, but other than that, you know, I love this thing. This is like my favorite one out of all of them. Out of all the Batmans that Kenner released, this is the one that you had to have in your collection. You know, if you was going to get one, this is the one that I recommend.
I can't wait to see him in the new movie.
It's just like nothing but repaints.
Yeah.
I think my second favorite one is probably, I don't know why, but I just love his outfit. This one right here.
Oh yeah.
I just love the outfit, you know, the way it was made and everything. Just so awesome. And of course, you know, he's got that big ass outlandish accessory that goes on his back.
Yeah.
I don't have that piece. I do need to find it so I can add it to him. But aside that, I mean, these are probably out of my collection. I got a few more, but these are my favorite ones out of my collection that I have. You know, if I don't get any more, I'm perfectly fine with these two, you know.
Well, you know, there's some other lines like, you know, Visionaries and Mask and stuff like that they're talking about redoing and bringing back. Mask was actually supposed to be back this year, but you know, everything got delayed, and so they're supposed to show some stuff for it next toy fair. Sweet.
Yeah, I was so lucky to find this. This was one of my finds from Movie Trading Company a while back. I think I got this for like a couple of bucks.
Nice.
Yeah, it wasn't very expensive at all. But he does go for crazy money though. Just because of the likeness, you know.
Yeah.
So that's why he's one of the more sought after figures. I don't have any of his accessories, but just to have the figure itself is good enough for me. You know, I'm pretty sure his accessories are going to be pretty expensive. Now, this was one figure that, even though it's not Kenner, it's more so a Hasbro.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm pretty sure because I think it was under the Hasbro banner. Because I think what was it? Like I think it was about 98 or 99 is when they stopped using the Hasbro name, and before they killed it off in 2000.
Yeah.
But it's King Shark right here.
Nice.
So I had to have this one in the collection. You know, even though I have the Funko King Shark from the DC age, and I did pre-order that big old King Shark figure that McFarlane made.
Yeah.
Walmart exclusive one. But just this is my favorite one so far. So, but like I said, I don't know if it's under the Hasbro banner or the Kenner banner.
Yeah.
I think it was like towards the end when they just stopped using it. But anyways, you could tell this is Kenner people that made it.
It definitely has that kind of look to it.
It says 1998 DC Comics. So yeah, this is around a time right when they switched over to the Hasbro name. It sucks because Kenner didn't have that long run that most toy companies would have. If they was only in business like what, 50 years or so.
Yeah, just about. They were founded in like 46 or 47, right after the war.
Yeah.
But they were mostly a game and an art, and I mean their biggest seller thing ever was Easy Bake Oven before they got Star Wars.
Yeah.
And they were mostly dolls and things like that they could easily make and bring over. So yeah, really they had not even 30 years as an action figure maker.
Yeah, they weren't around that long. But I know they were bought out several times before Hasbro. I think General Mills bought them out, and then Tonka bought them out. But they still used the Kenner name, and the employees. That they were just run by a different corporation each time.
Yeah.
And then that's when Hasbro bought them out. I think they bought them just right before they started doing the Jurassic Park stuff. And
then they used the name for a couple of years after on different things.
Yeah.
Mostly when they were redoing Star Wars stuff and things like that. And now they just slap it on stuff like those Marvel figures and things like that. It's like these aren't Kenner, they're Kenner-esque. But no Kenner person ever touched these.
Yeah, they didn't make no DC shit.
Yeah.
So,
but I do love those Marvel figures, and I have most all of them. I think I'm missing Cyclops and Gray Hulk.
Yeah, that Gray Hulk's pretty cool. But then again, it's just a straight repaint of the green one.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing Hasbro and Kenner just love to do.
Yeah, I haven't bought any of those yet. I probably won't because I got all the Toy Biz ones.
Yeah.
Like a whole tub, like a huge tub full of Toy Biz stuff. Once I get shelving, I'll be able to display all of it. So right now, actually, the only stuff that I really have is really all my Kenner stuff and Playmate stuff. So like my number one line to collect is Kenner. And then followed by Playmates, because I got Dick Tracy, got the whole line of Dick Tracy. The only thing I need is the two vehicles, and I'm not even going to think about trying to get the blank.
Yeah.
And then I kind of restarted my vintage Turtles. Of course, Star Trek. And then I got Primal Age, Monster Squad, Wildcats. What is his name? Can't even. The Flash guy, Flash Gordon.
Nice.
And I got that. A few other things.
Did you pick up any of the Skeleton Warriors?
Yes, I still have my two originals from my childhood.
I like those.
One of the handful of things I still somewhat have left over.
Those are highly underappreciated figures.
I will show you that the latest Skeleton Warriors I found at a random bookstore is this Grimskull.
Nice.
The package
bookstore.
The package is shit. I mean, you could just easily just open up the bubble and just take them out.
Yeah.
Like I said, once I take them out, I'm still going to keep the card back, because the card back's what really counts,
Yeah.
And, but yeah, there's a little spot in town on the square that's called Recycle Books, and they are just now starting to dabble into video games and toys, kind of expanding their store, I guess, because it's just mainly for years, it was mainly like nothing but books and records and music, you know. But now since they capitalizing on the rebirth of the video game craze, you know, they're starting to dabble in a little bit of that. It's a real small section. It's not overly huge, but I would say I have found a lot of cool stuff that I have never found in actual vintage toy stores. Like I found Snalians. I found Trendmasters Battlefield Earth figures.
Nice.
I found like that. Let me. I think it's within reach. Let me show you what else I found. And it's crazy because, you know, like I said, I don't really see these too much in bookstores. I can get them. Anyways, it's Street Sharks. I found 2 Street Sharks there. Yep. And I found
Street Sharks is another one that's supposedly getting redone next year. New Street Sharks figures.
And Storm Collectibles is supposed to do those, right?
I think so.
Storm Collectibles are trying to, if not, they have already gotten the license for that. So
yeah, I know they were working hard on that license. I don't know if they completed it or not yet. Just like Playmates is supposedly getting the license back to the Addams family to do stuff for the next animated movie that comes out.
Right.
So that'll be cool. I got all those from back in the day.
Oh, the animation figures.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it sucks that they didn't release Cousin Ed or Wednesday Addams or
The House.
Yeah.
There was an Addams family mansion that we had on planogram. It was right where it was supposed to be, and it never got produced. And my manager was so mad because we had to leave that hole on the shelves, and people would complain because they want to know where is it, because we had a tag for it. We're like, it's not coming. I look believe me, I'm a huge Addams Family fan. I look every week to see if that's shipping, and it always said, you know, to be announced. I was like, you guys suck. Maybe we'll finally get that playset out. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I'd like Playmates to get back into the business again. You know, looking over what they own at the moment, it's a lot of preschooly stuff. And it's a lot of stuff that nobody, you know, we don't care about.
But Ben 10.
Yeah.
I have to admit, those Ben 10 figures, some of the creatures that they make were pretty good looking.
They're nice, and you have to admit, I mean, hell, Ben 10's been out for almost 10, 15 years, maybe. You know, every couple of years, you got to completely remade all the figures and everything. So it's a long running show. It's just, you know, not on my radar, not something I'm looking for. But it's not for me, so it's okay.
Right.
You know, Hot Toys aren't for me either.
No.
There are lots of things I don't want NECA to get, and NECA's getting Disney. I don't like that because then I'll have to buy more. Those Gargoyles figures, I'm gonna have to buy them all. Another great Kenner figure line.
They're expensive.
I've got my castle right up here.
Yeah, I saw that when I seen that when I started watching your video. I kept on. I think I was watching a live video that you had, but I kept on looking at your background more than anything. I was like, man, oh my God, Kenner, man. So I was like all trying to see what all you had every time you moved. I was like, okay.
I got to do a good walk around on that someday.
Yeah, these are my only 2 Gargoyles I have. You know,
nice.
I ain't got shit for them, but this is what I got. You know, it's Kenner, so I'll take them. You know. I got all kinds of little oddities, you know, in my collection when it comes to stuff like this. It's just like I got like one thing that represents a particular line somewhere, you know. So
yeah, I just hope those sell well for NECA, but I don't really want them to start doing things like deciding they're going to make an entire line of villains or something. If you've seen the Super 7 Disney stuff that they're doing, my God, those are beautiful. It's the first time ever, really, that I get to buy Robin Hood stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They don't make Robin Hood Disney stuff. And
no,
I've got my Prince John ordered for this year. I've got my Robin Hood ordered for next year. And now all I want's a Little John, and I'll be happy because Prince John comes with like 2 Sir Hisses, maybe a Friar Tuck I would like, but they're doing Fantasia and Alice in Wonderland right now as well.
Yeah.
But I'm in Colorado.
And I am from North Texas in the DFW area, Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Yep, Fox Robin Hood. They are pricey. They're the same Ultimates, so they're like $49, but they come with all kinds of stuff, different heads, different hands, a couple different outfits. the Robin Hood, it's him, and he is when he plays the archer as the stork. So it's Robin Hood, and then you get a second complete figure of him as the stork as well. And those are really cool. The Fantasia ones are nice. The Pinocchio one is really cool. Yeah, I'm loving them too. I can't afford to buy all of them.
Yeah, I got to stay away from certain things because I ain't trying to go down that rabbit hole. You know? I just like I said, when it comes to modern stuff, I'm very selective. Like all the stuff that Leonard has recently made, like you mentioned, like the Predator and Alien stuff. I got all that. I do have all the stuff from King Kong or Skull Island that they did. But Leonard made Skull Island stuff and that movie Rampage. I got all that stuff from them as well. So here's my big boy right here, George.
Nice.
So anything kaiju. I'm a huge kaiju fan. So anything like Rampage or Skull
when they announced that Rampage movie, I was like, from the video game, right? Rampage. Yeah. What? How's that going to work? But it's actually a pretty enjoyable film.
I was cool. I have the steelbook version of it.
Yeah.
All the figures. So obviously I am a fan. So
I still don't understand how Yahtzee and Uno are going to work as a movie, but okay, whatever. And Michael Bay was executive producing a Monopoly movie.
At one point, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, why? I don't want Boardwalk to blow up. And I guess Adam Sandler is producing a Candyland movie. Yeah. It's kind of like a Wizard of Oz type thing where they got to get to the king, and so they run into people all along the paths. That might actually be a cool little kids movie.
Yeah, done right. Yeah.
It would hurt me if they did if Super 7 were to do Rescuers 2, or Great Mouse Detective.
Or
American Radigan figure would be awesome. But we're coming up on about 3 hours, so I'm gonna call it a stream. Thank you so much for coming, Dave. It's been so much fun.
Hey, thanks for having me. I really enjoyed it.
I love talking figures, and especially somebody who knows so much about them.
Right.
And for only collecting for the past 6 or 7 years, you have an incredible collection. I've been collecting for like 40 years, and it's amazing.
I haven't even dabbled into half of my stuff. If you want, we can talk. We can go into like McFarlane stuff because I got all the movie figures for that. I got Mission Impossible figures. I got Hook. I got Demolition Man, Last Action. I got all kinds of stuff.
Maybe next time we'll talk Mattel, and we'll do Demolition Man and Hook and all that stuff.
Like we could do a whole segment on all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
But this is just the tip of the iceberg of Kenner stuff because there's still a lot of other stuff that we can cover for Kenner.
Yeah. I mean, there's tons. I mean, we didn't even get into I don't know if you've got stuff from Captain Planet and Centurions and Chuck Norris, and I mean, there's so much stuff.
Yeah, Mummy's Alive.
Zords, yeah, Mummy's Alive. That's another good one. I've got some of those laying around somewhere. I am sad that I don't own any Bill and Ted stuff from that series.
Yeah, I don't either, man. That's another line. That's it's just like, I mean, as much Kenner stuff that I have, there's a lot of stuff I don't have. it's just like they had so much shit back then. You know, it's just like Kenner was like the go-to toy company if you wanted something very cool, because they had a little bit of everything.
And if you had a movie license, you went to Kenner first.
Oh yeah.
And everybody else kind of came along.
Yeah. And that's why I praise Lennard so much, is because they're the ones that are actually starting to pick up movie license and doing stuff like what Kenner did back in the day. Even though their quality isn't as good as Kenner's is, but at least it's something that's affordable, you know.
Well, and that's what it is. It's kids. It's toys kids can buy.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's what I want to see. I don't necessarily need to have everything made for me to purchase.
Right.
But yeah, I'd like them to get a couple other things here and there. Maybe even test the waters with some Terminator in the next line.
Right.
Because if they've got Predator and Alien, then they've got something to do with Fox, and it's something Disney must have. I don't know if Lennard's a division of Disney somewhere along the line, but it'd be interesting.
I know that the next line that I'm trying to find and track down that they're doing, and I'm pretty sure they've already, because I know that overseas, a lot of the stuff that they advertise, they've already gotten like a year or two before we do. Kind of like the Primal, the Jurassic Clash line that they had to rename here in America, called Primal Clash. I'm looking at them right now because they're still all in their boxes. I have yet to open those up, and I've been having them for like over a year or however long they had them. And I got a whole tub full of Lennard stuff, like all the ones I mentioned, like Rampage and stuff. We could do a whole video on Lennard, strictly Lennard, if you want.
No.
But also I have all the.
Looks like they're going to be coming out with their own line of like Halo stuff called Star Troopers.
Yeah, kind of like the Starship Trooper stuff.
Yeah, and then there's another line called Jurassic Clash coming.
Yep.
And the cores. I think I've seen some cores stuff so far. I haven't seen any of the Jurassic Clash stuff yet. Those are cool. Hang on a second, I'll share this. Share file, share to a window, share. They're kind of neat. Those are very Dino Rider-ish.
Yeah, I have all those.
I've never seen these out. Are they a Walmart thing?
Yeah, yeah.
Huh. I'm gonna have to go looking for these. These are cool.
But that was like about a year or two ago, I think.
Was it?
Yeah.
I must have completely missed it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah, that Starship thing right there, Star Troopers. That's the next thing I'm waiting for them to hit here in the States. That's what I want right there.
They do a great job on their creatures, but not such a hot job on the figures. Those are creepy. Those remind me of those G.I. Joe figures that were aliens or something.
Yeah.
At the very end. Oh, that's cool. Drop ship. Oh, they're cool. Huh. Yeah, it doesn't talk about too much more about anything else.
I do have real quick. I do have something fell as usual.
That would be cool. There's a rumor that they might be picking up RoboCop. The world's deadliest animal. And The Rock.
Yeah. This is the from the Lennard's Jumanji line. You know what? And the funny thing is, out of all my videos, every month, I always look at that the Tubi thing, the Tube Helper or Tube YouTube Studio thing. And I always look at the last 30 days. All my Lennard Jumanji figure reviews are all number one for some reason.
I wonder how
most watched videos out of all my channel. It's all my Leonard figures.
That's because nobody reviews Leonard, really.
Oh, they don't. And if they do, it's like maybe one or two others that go out there and do it. But these are like the most watched videos on my channel.
I wonder if Leonard has got the rights to do stuff for Jungle Cruise. Because they could reuse a lot of this Jumanji stuff and repackage it.
Yeah.
Plus The Rock.
So,
nice.
yeah, I'm only missing like one thing out of this whole set, and I missed out on it because I was too late on trying to capitalize on their clearance. But oh well, I'll find them one day.
Yeah.
It's a baby elephant, you know. But yeah, that's like the one of really like the only modern stuff aside from the retro stuff that I collect. Like the only thing that modern I really actually could say that I have in my collection that's not retro is Leonard stuff and NECA stuff. Like I have all the Godzillas, or a majority of the Godzilla figures. I have all the majority of the movie turtle figures, and I do have all the Terminator stuff because I mean, as you can tell, I'm a huge Terminator 2 fan, so I have to have all the NECA stuff. The only person I don't have is John Connor, and I missed out on the 2-pack that came with Sarah Connor, so I'm kicking myself for not picking that up. But hey, it is what it is.
I randomly see that. If I see it, I'll drop you a line.
Okay, cool. That'd be awesome. I would love to add because I need a John Connor ad.
Yeah.
But and I also have those the NECA Kenner tributes, you know, with the Terminator 2, you know. So I have all 3 of those, and the one that I want that's hardly pops up these days is the Endoglow, the glow endoskeleton, you know.
Oh yeah.
The NECA one that it was like an old San Diego Comic-Con exclusive that came out like several years ago. That was like the first Kenner inspired figure that he did, beside the RoboCop. And
nobody should have to be forced to buy Cowboys of Moo Mesa. I have them right here. They're right there.
What's up, Uber? Now that's my buddy right there. He lives in Fort Worth. And I finally, after years of trying to meet up with him, we did meet up at a location called Retro Madness. They have 3 locations, and one of them was in Fort Worth. And I've always wanted to add Cowboy Mesa, and every time I find them, they're like super expensive. And so they happen to have one, and he was nice enough to purchase that for me as a gift. You know, he originally wanted to buy. I didn't know this at the time. I wish he would have told me, but I think either that or he was going to surprise me or something. But he was. I did get a bunch of stuff, and he originally was going to purchase the whole lot. You know, just out of kindness. You know, as a random act of kindness. And he was like, "Oh yeah, you messed up. I was going to purchase your lot." I was like, "Oh shit, I wish I'd have known." You know. But he said, "What was that figure that you saw that you wanted, that cow thing?" And I was like, "Oh, you're talking about that Cowboys and Moo Mesa?" He goes, "Well, here's some money. Go get it. No, it's on me." I was like, "No, you ain't got to do that because it's on me. You're not leaving until you get that." I was like, "All right."
I had a complete set on card until the Colorado Kid decided to peel itself off of the plastic. So now I've got that set aside. I've got to repair it, get some double-sided tape, clean it up, kind of get that. Like, oh no.
Yeah.
But yeah, some of the older figures kind of randomly try and peel them. My Prince of Thieves figures did that. I had 2 or 3 sets of them, and now an entire set of them have just kind of peeled off their card perfectly. But you know,
let me grab something real quick because I know what you're talking about. Because these were originally on card, and I know you have these. You have to have these. But you remember these figures, the ones with the cartoonish head, yeah, and their card backs were like real cardboardy or looking, or they were flimsy.
Yeah,
they weren't like the card backs of the other ones that we got. And their bubbles just kind of.
They were Canadian because that's why they weren't French.
Oh, okay. Because you know the bubbles just kind of slid off over time. And that's
Yep.
like the only thing that's happened to me so far. I say so far because I'm pretty sure one day, I always try to keep this room cool.
Yeah.
I have the window blocked off, so hardly any light would come in. So I
I
try to
have
keep.
that happen with reaction figures, but I've been able to repair them pretty
Okay.
good. But they were notorious, especially the Big Trouble in Little China ones, of just kind of popping off the card. So I have to be careful every time I touch those things. I would like to get some, another set I don't have is any of his food fighters.
Yeah.
Would love to get a couple of those on card, or Barnyard Commandos was a Playmate set I don't have any of. Both incredibly expensive, or Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
I happened to find one at Retro Madness.
Nice.
$30, which is not a bad deal.
Yeah.
Considering it has his hat, it doesn't have this backpack or other accessories, but $30, I couldn't afford to lose them.
Every time I'm over at 5280s, which I did like a 3 or 4 part tour of, they've got a couple of them on card for like 35 or 40. I
Really?
think about it, then I end up buying something else.
Yeah.
Last time I went, they had some Love Boat figures that I had to get one of those.
I remember those. For some reason.
I had to get that and some a Chips figure.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, like I said, this has been cool. We've got to do this again at some point. We'll figure out what we want to talk about, and
of course,
we'll make small piles of things to show everybody, to remember the good old days when toys were on the shelves and they meant something. Hashtag fill the pegs. So again, guys, thank you all for coming and throwing questions out. Thank you for all of Dave's people who came over to say hi. For everybody, my normals, over at the very top, I have pinned Dave's spot channel. Please go check it out. The 90s guys are in here pegged as well. Check them out. I think we did I think we did somebody else. I don't remember who. But check them out. Go over, say hi, check out some videos, drop some likes, strike some comments, and put them into your rotation. So Dave, at some point I want to get you together with the rest of the Pegwarmers as a guest on the Pegwarmers show. I know you work. We do our show Saturdays at 3 in the afternoon, or 2 in the afternoon, I think.
Yeah, Saturdays are. I guess it all depends if I work. Because, like I said, on the weekdays, on a normal weekday, Monday to Friday, I work second shift from 3:15 to whenever we're done. So that may be 1 in the morning, maybe regular time at like 11 o'clock. It all depends on what going on. And I do work some Saturdays, but Sundays are always open for me. It's always open. That's why when people ask me to do some things with them, I say it's got to be on a Sunday. I'm sorry. It's like the only time I can actually do anything, like legit anything. But also got to plan ahead too at the same time.
Exactly.
What's going on. So
I'll get with the other guys and see. We do move the Pegwarmers randomly to different days. So we'll see. Yeah, I thought that too when it came out. The show was actually pretty good, mostly because it had John Aston in it as the scientist again, who was Gomez Adams, which is the only reason I watched parts 3 and 4, I believe, of Killer Tomatoes.
I forgot he was on that.
The villain. But again, thank you guys so much, and
thanks for having me.
Yep. Until next time, I'll